What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TDPHINSTALK, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. I hope everybody is having a blessed Friday. This is the end of the week. Make sure you hit the like button on your way in. Let your friends and family members know about the channel. We are 3 subscribers away from 20,300. So we're almost at the 300 mark. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to TDPHINSTALK right now and punch that like button, ladies and gentlemen. Man, the week is already almost over, and here we are over the halfway point of June, coming into the 6-month part of the year. And I'm just excited because the second half of this year is going to be just fireworks all over the place because we get football back in about a month. We get to start revving up our excitement. And the Miami Dolphins get to go prove to us that they're ready to win a Super Bowl, man. I hope so, right? Oh, man. So listen, y'all. Wanted to bring this video to y'all to give you a salary cap update. And did you know Byron Jones restructured his contract in March? Let me know in the comment section because I don't know how that got past me. Let me know in the comment section. Do you know that Byron Jones restructured his contract in March? Yes or no in the comment section. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I did report and I just didn't remember. Let me know in the comment section. Nah, yes, sir, I did. Well, Miss Fins be on it. No, no, no. Yes, Flipside Fishing. No, no. Yes, nah, no. So most people didn't. I think I knew, but I don't think they released the details. But now we actually see the details of his restructure. Man, they gave him his money too. But anyway, we're gonna talk about that and more. We're gonna dive into it. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, as of right now, the Miami Dolphins currently sit with $16.52 million. $16.52 million in salary cap left. I continue to tell y'all this, we may bring in a player or two here or there, no major additions unless we can get a deal. But they're looking to potentially bring as much as they possibly can to next season because they're going to need it, y'all. They're going to need it. Let me pull up the league's numbers. I'm gonna pull up the league's numbers so you know where every team pretty much currently sits. Let me see. I want Spo track. All right, here we go. And just in case you didn't know, The team with the most money right now available out of all teams is the Cleveland Browns. They still have about $42 million. Sickening. Know how that worked. But they still got almost $42 million. The Cleveland Browns, the team that's already loaded, still has about $42 million. But a lot of that probably has to do with the simple fact that Deshaun Watson's contract is only $1 million. But they're still eating Baker's contract right now. So they're in a really good place. It's going to depend on how what the parameters are when they do trade Baker, if they trade him, how that's going to work, because technically they can afford to keep him this year. They can afford to keep him this year, and if they do, they get to carry $41 million into next year. It's going to make paying for Watson every year after that so easy. They're just going to basically say, hey, we're just going to dump on, $15 million each year onto the year to make it so much more reasonable. So they're in a good position, I believe. Number 2, the Carolina Panthers with $25 million. Another team trying to make a little run, but their quarterback situation, we'll see. Then you have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Still has almost $23 million. And we'll talk about Minka and Flores, Minka's praise of Flores, which I was trying to tell people for so long. They were trying to write this narrative about Flores when I kept on arguing with people several years ago that Minka is not leaving because of Flores. He's not leaving because he's disgruntled with Flores. He just doesn't like his role, and he felt that it was best. He even said it before and after he was traded. It has nothing to do with Flores or Greer. It's nothing personal. He just feels like Miami isn't the place for him. Somebody told him to get out of Miami. And I kept trying to tell y'all that. Somebody told him to get out of Miami. It was not a personal situation. They tried to make it about him not liking Flores. It never had anything to do with that. And he's been telling y'all that ever since he got traded. And, the Flores haters, they always come out the works and say, no, he had a bad relationship with him. It was never the case. Minka said as soon as he was traded, this has nothing to do with Flores. This isn't personal at all. I just felt like this was the right move for me and my future. And now he over there and he just praising Flores. He said Flores is the guy that we need on this team because he's very direct. He's the element that we were missing. And I know they going, and everybody like, oh, now he's giving a different tune. He's not giving a different tune. This is the same tune he's been saying the whole time. But that's neither here nor there. Shout out to the homie Shake Money with the donation. I appreciate you supporting the channel, Shake Money, especially with inflation, baby. Hey, that's what I'm going to start calling them, man. I appreciate the inflation donation. Shake Money said, happy Father's Day to you and every one of my Fins family. Thanks for speaking facts, not feelings. I'm going to do my very best every single time, man, no matter who like it and who don't. I'll tell you the truth. I promise you that. At least my truth, right? Kenna said, I believe that. I mean, all you can do is go off of what the man said. Ball Game said Byron restructured right before he had knee surgery. See, Ball Game, I'm starting to remember that now. The only issue is we never knew the details. And we kept looking it up, and it was never showing the details of what the restructure was. And here we are, the slick Dolphins. I go look at it again, and here they are all of a sudden. So with that being said, I do want to go to Byron Jones and tell y'all what the restructure was. So just so you all know, they basically just said, Byron, we're going to give you all your money up front. We're going to convert salary into bonus. We're going to take care of you. Byron Jones is pretty much supposed to be, this year he was supposed to be about a $17.5 million cap hit. He was supposed to be. Technically, it was like 17.8 or 17.9. That's what he was supposed to be. He restructured and helped the team out so much that he's only a $5.9 million cap hit this year. Byron Jones saved us almost $11 million this year on cap space. So when we say we got 16.252 in cap space, if it wasn't for Byron Jones, we'd have 5.5 million in cap space. And we weren't going to do anything with that because you would have needed to hold that for situations within the season. So he definitely gave us a lot of wiggle room and flexibility to bring in another player or two this offseason or feel a lot more comfortable carrying that money into next year, especially since you got the Christian Wilkins situation on the horizon that we're going to talk about in regards to salary cap. So Byron Jones restructured his deal to a $5.871 million cap hit this year, 5.9 pretty much when you round. What they did is they gave him a restructure bonus. If you restructure, we're going to convert money into a bonus. And Byron like, okay. And this is a good thing for Byron because if they do decide to move one next year, he could still go get another bag. So what happened was they gave this man a $13.255 million restructure bonus. And then not only did they do that, but they went ahead and extended him by 2 years, but they are voidable years. So I've been trying to tell y'all, Miami Dolphins are about to start to get into that voidable year game. I'm not talking about voidable years where there's no more guaranteed money and they can cut you and let you go. This is different. 2024 is the year where, 2023 and 2024, they can move off of Byron's contract for the next 2 years after this year. But they didn't stop there. They built in another 2 years afterwards to spread it out even more. So here we are at the beginning stages of what the Dallas Cowboys did 5 years ago. They started taking all their big contracts so that they can get better and better and kick the can down the road, like what the Saints did 5 years ago. This is the very beginning signs of that to come, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to do nothing but get worse as time goes. Which tells you that I continue to try to tell y'all Miami is in a definitive window right now, where in the next 2 years, they got to prove something or it gets real dangerous for the future. So Byron Jones, after this season, he will have a dead cap of $14.8 million. But if we cap him next year, he would have a cap hit of $18.9 million. So what does that mean? Do y'all think after this year they'll keep Byron Jones and pay him $19 million next year? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think after this year they will keep Byron Jones and pay him $19 million next year? Yes or no in the comment section. TD, when are you uploading a new episode of The New Era? I love it, man. Tonight. Well, that's the goal tonight. Is it Christmas at your place, TD? Is that a tree? This is a Christmas tree. Right now, this is my normal background setup, but I'm actually not with my background right now. I took a picture of my normal setup because I'm operating off of a green screen because I'm doing a whole remake of my office. And it does not look like this behind me in real life. I'm doing a whole new remake. So in the meantime, this is what you have. This is actually, now you know how people be like, that's a green screen. It ain't usually a green screen, but this is officially a green screen right now. It's just crispy and pretty because, you know, it was in real life. All right. I took all my stuff down. I'm doing a whole new remake. So let me see what y'all said. Nah, Noah better step up and could replace Byron. No, keep X before Byron. Hard to believe they would. So here's what happens. They added 2 voidable years. So after this year, there's 4 years left on his contract with the $15 million dead cap. So what'll end up happening is they'll take like a $3.9 million cap hit for the next 4 years because they'll be able to spread it out. They'll be able to spread it out at that point. So he has a restructured cap hit every year going forward for $2.651 million. So that's what would end up happening if they moved on from Byron next year. They would have 4 years where they're on the hook for pretty much $4 million, 3.85 or something like that. But I'm just saying 4 to round up. So there is a chance they can move on from Byron next year. That way they can use $14 million to their disposal or $15 million to their disposal for the years after that. And they may need it because once again, they got to pay Christian Wilkins. And here's what a lot of this hinges on. This is why people are like, oh, you always talking about Tua. How are we talking about salary cap and Byron Jones and you get to Tua? Here's why. We need Tua to become our franchise quarterback this year. Because if he does, which I hope he does, we get to use our first round pick, one of those suckers on a corner. We get to take one of those first round picks and get us one of the best corners coming out of the draft. That's why everything leads back to Tua. Tua can help us make this whole thing revolve. So I hope, and let's take it off Tua for a second. I hope this O-line ball out so that they can take care of Tua. I hope these receivers don't drop the ball and they're healthy. I hope that, just everything is working. The run game is on point to take a little pressure off of him so Tua can be nice, calm, relaxed, and play his best version of football. And hopefully that version turns out to be Tua is our guy. Now we can go into the offseason saying, man, we're going to spend a first-round pick on a corner so that we can replace Byron. Because otherwise, we got to pay $19 million to Byron next year. And we don't have the money that people think. We got a lot of situations like this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me help y'all out. Excuse me. Let me do this. Right now, we're 7th in the NFL with pretty much $16.5 million. Well, actually, we're 10th in the NFL with $16.5 million, right? We're 11th in the NFL as of right now. Next year, as of right now, we're 25th in the NFL with negative $24 million. Negative $24 million. If they moved on from Byron Jones, that $24 million pretty much turns into negative $10 million. You still got to find room. You'd still have to find room, ladies and gentlemen. And where else on this roster can y'all look on the roster and say, well, we can move on from this person that year and save money? I want y'all to help me out real quick. If we moved on from Byron, we're still negative $10 million. And I know they'll probably restructure a few other people, but walk down this road with me. Where are we who on this roster do you also feel like we can move on from that's making decent money? Cedric Wilson's contract is new. Byron, we already know about Byron. You can't really touch Jalen Waddles. He's a rookie. Well, we gonna restructure Tyreek Hill's money? You got to start taking the hit for that. Maybe you don't need Teddy Bridgewater. You can save $6.5 million. That'll get us the negative $4 million. Tua's money is gonna stay the same if he ends up being our guy. Do you think we'll start to think about moving off of Jerome Baker? Hey, don't rule it out, ladies and gentlemen. Don't rule it out. And moving on from Jerome Baker would probably put us in a positive $5 million. But we still got to play Christian Wilkins. Are we going to be able to do that? Because Xavier Howard's money goes up next year. You can't nothing you could do about that. That's already an extension restructured. Mike Gesicki, you gonna keep franchise tagging him or you gonna let him walk? But now we're starting to take some hits in some key areas. Emmanuel Ogbah just got his money. That's not likely. So y'all keep on asking me why am I so worried about the re-signing of Christian Wilkins? And this is why. When you follow the money, it ain't all roses. When you follow the money, it ain't all roses. And people love using that saying, oh, the salary cap ain't real. They can manipulate that how they want. Ladies and gentlemen, the salary cap is real. When they manipulate it, they're kicking the can down the road. All they're doing is this. They're saying, hey, we're going to try to ease the burden now, but in 2 years, we in trouble. Oh, we're going to ease the burden a year from now, but in 2 and 3 years, we're in real trouble. Oh, we're going to keep on manipulating it. Now you face a New Orleans Saints in a Dallas Cowboys situation. Can you name any talent the Saints got over there? And I'm sure you can name a few people, but you don't have no respect for the overall roster. Not this year. Why? Because this is what you reap when you kick the can down the road so much chasing a Super Bowl with Drew Brees. Now you in trouble. Now you couldn't afford Armstead. You couldn't afford half of them guys. And they all left. Most of them. You don't have the same core team you had around Breeze anymore. Yeah, you still got a few people locked down, and those are bad contracts, by the way. And this is why. But you don't have the entire core. And for y'all who's saying Saints are still good, TD, were they good last year? What's going to be the difference this year? Yeah, they still got a few good players, but they strapped. They strapped because of this very situation. Look at the Dallas Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen. All that talent, secured your quarterback and your running back, had them old linemen on 7 and 8 year deals just to kick the can down the road. And you couldn't keep about 5 of your starters, 5 of your key players you couldn't keep. You think Dallas just automatically wanted to move on from Connor Williams? You think they didn't like Cedric Wilson up and coming? They just couldn't afford it. You think they wanted to get rid of Amari Cooper? That don't make no sense. Forcing them to go in the draft blindly and hopefully get some guys that can produce on their level. So when you're in this situation, when you go all in, you gotta hit. The Saints didn't hit, y'all. The Cowboys didn't hit, y'all. Seattle kept trying to do it after they gave Russell his money. They couldn't hit. What did they end up having to do? Trade their quarterback. You gotta hit. The Rams hit. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they hit. The Bucks hit. You gotta hit. See, it was easier to hit in the last 10 years because usually it's 1 or 2 teams going for broke and may the best man win. But now you got like 5 to 8 teams every year going for broke. So it still ain't as easy to hit. TD, you're wrong about the Saints. LOL, they are a good team. They were just hurt last year. I don't want to hear it. Every team deals with injuries. Every team deals with injuries. It is what it is. It is what it is. Y'all know my philosophy on that. Y'all know my philosophies on that. And here's the deal. Have they been riddled with injuries for the last 6 years? 5 years? Even with Drew Brees, it wasn't enough anymore. You had stretched the roster thin, kicking all that money down the road. That still didn't get it done when you were healthy, when you had Drew Brees. Now, I'll give you, if you want to argue, well, they were one bad call away from going to a Super Bowl or something, I'll give you that. That's the point, and that was the height of that kicking the can down the road. That's the height of kicking the can down the road. Guess who also in that realm? Buffalo Bills. This they last year to get it done. They don't, they in trouble. You know who else coming up in that range? The Baltimore Ravens. Usually I don't consider it when a guy's on his rookie contract, but Baltimore Ravens coming up on it. They getting ready to go into that realm if they give Lamar that money. Joe Burrow and them already loaded. It's the best team he's ever going to see in his career. Because when it's time for him to get his money, he ain't going to never be able to duplicate this team. Some of these teams have truly loaded up around their young quarterback. But what you got to realize, this is the best team you're ever going to see in their career when they make the money that they're going to be making 2 and 3 years from now. That's why it's a window, and you got to get it done in that window. You got to get it done in that window. TD, the entire team was out. They didn't even have a quarterback. What about last year? What about the year before last year? What about the year before last year? Whatever. The last 5 years, you can count the last year, okay, the whole team was hurt. What about the year before and the year before that? When you go for broke like that and you start getting them voidable contracts and all of that mess, you got to win a Super Bowl. That's what you do it for. You don't sell out your salary cap other than winning the Super Bowl. You have to. And what you will not do is tell me that the Saints right now have more talent on that roster than they had 2 and 3 years ago. You cannot sit here and tell me that. I'm not saying it's still not a good team, but you cannot sit here and tell me they have the same amount of talent that they today that they had 2 and 3 years ago. Because right now they can't afford the same amount of talent. One of the best left tackles in the NFL ain't even no longer on that roster. You think they just woke up, oh, we replaced them easily with? No, it ain't don't work like that. And ladies and gentlemen, please understand, this ain't a bad thing for Miami. It just tells you, though, that the clock has started to tick. We are officially no longer rebuilding. That rebuild word is officially gone now. The day we kick off in week 1 in September 11th, when we kick that ball off, the rebuild is officially over. Now the chips have to fall where they may. So remember that. We are no longer in a rebuild. We have our core team. Because next year, if we come up short this year and we want to get better next year, now we got to see here in the name of the game is trade-offs. We got to get better in this area, but what area can we take a hit so that we can? We might have to move on from Byron, so our cornerback tandem may not be as good, but that'll help us go get a right tackle because we still may have struggled. Or we might have to not pay Christian and trade him. I mean, it's the trade-offs are starting to come. The trade-offs are starting to come. So at the end of the day, nothing's wrong with the situation we're in, but we got to win now. The expectation is to win now, ladies and gentlemen. It has to happen. It has to happen. The only benefit that we have is the fact that we have an owner that obviously is showing you he's not really worried about profits as much right now. Because to convert Byron Jones' money into a restructure bonus, that's just paid out straight up out of a check. Bonuses is paid straight up out of a check. That guaranteed money, straight up. He ain't worried about it. And I'm going to tell you now, we might have to do something like that with Tyreek. We might have to do something like that with Tyreek Hill at some point. Because if you don't know, those numbers, they do get massive at some point. And all we can do is hope that he stays the Tyreek that the whole league knows, which he should, hopefully, right? Because this year he's only a $6.5 million cap hit. Because remember, it was a trade. He was still under contract with Kansas City. So we were able to basically build that in, but we didn't take advantage of it by doing anything with it this year. But ladies and gentlemen, that $6.5 million this year jumps all the way to $31 million next year. And that $31 million next year goes down to $25 million the year after with the $15 million dead cap. And I'm going to be honest with you. Technically, if they wanted out of the deal, they could get out after 2 years. It's just that they be having another dead. They have 3 years of dead cap at $15 million, $5 million each. And if he ain't performing well, that's a get out of jail free card. That's a get out of jail the way the contract is structured. Like literally, y'all, after this year, if they wanted to get out of Tyreek's contract in 2024, they could. They just have to deal with a $15 million dead cap hit after next year. And they can spread that out between 3 years, which is pretty much $5 million each that they be paying. So I'm going to be honest with y'all. I love the way that Greer structured the contract. Like what it basically means is Tyreek, well, after 2 years, this year and the year after, 2023. So Tyreek, there's a chance he may only be a 2-year Dolphin. There's a chance he may only be a 2-year Dolphin because he'll be 30 years old at that time. 2 years from now, Tyreek may be gone. Because I don't think the Miami Dolphins going to want to stick around for a $50 million cap hit in 2026. And some would even argue, some would bet that Tyreek won't even be on the roster in 2024 unless he does a restructure that literally gives the team a massive discount. So it'll be very interesting. So we do have some flexibility and wiggle room with Tyreek's contract, but time will tell, man. We'll see how they end up doing it. That's why I don't pay attention to no 4-year, $120 million. If he lives out 4 years of that contract, the Miami Dolphins paying him $30 million a year would be the shock of all shocks. It would be the shock of all shocks. I'm going to tell you now, I think he's going to live out 2 and 3 at best years of that contract. At best. But time will tell. We'll see. All right. Somebody says signing bonus. The signing bonus was $25.5 million. 25.5. Guaranteed $52 million. But that guarantees also include the signing bonus already. No, excuse me. I stand corrected. With the signing bonus. So it's $72 million pretty much guaranteed. But from a cap hit standpoint, they can move on. Let me see. 55, 61. Yeah, they can move on after 2020. 2024. 2023 they can move on, but 2024 is when it's most likely to happen. So maybe 3 years. Tyreek got paid for Kansas City numbers. They will drop by half with Tua at QB. I don't agree with that. I think Tyreek is still going to be productive. See, here's the deal. Tyreek is going to be an ultimate weapon for Tua. He's exactly what Tua needs. See, and don't beat me up for this, but this is just my true opinion of the matter. Tua needs a guy that could take the top off and guaranteed be open, because Tua's so extra cautious with it that if it's too tight deep down the field, he may not throw it. But now he may have the confidence to say, hey, I'm going to anticipate this and put it up, because I feel like Tyreek is definitely going to start to get separation even though he's not open right now. He didn't do that in the past. And unfortunately, that's his own confidence. You still got to do it regardless of the receiver, because that's the NFL big boy throw. But now you got him a receiver that he could feel confident in doing that. That's the issue with Tua. He has a confidence in certain guys and a lack of confidence in others, and you can't have that in the NFL. So they did the right thing by going to get him a guy that'll give him the confidence to just do it. I think he'll have a good season with Tyreek. I think Tyreek will just hit 1,000 yards. If we're lucky, 1,100. Tyreek will get, hopefully, I think Tyreek is going to cash in about 11, 12 touchdowns, which is pretty good. I think Waddle is the one that may take a hit. Waddle is probably going to go for about, if we're doing great, Waddle's going to get about 800, I don't know, man, 850 yards. He'll get about, 6 touchdowns, and that's still going to be good, but he's going to be taking a hit. It's going to hurt his ability to be a star in this league, even though he's worthy of it. Gesicki, I still think that's the guy who suffers the most, but should benefit the most. Because I think Tua still may see, you still can't hide that intermediate over the linebackers under the safety. And he's going to have to be able to take advantage of those opportunities. And I just don't see his game changing in that area. But overall, the offense will be better. The offense will be better. Tua will be better. We're not getting into the conversation of will it be enough, but we will be better. We will complement the defense. We will be a top 15 team in the NFL. Hear me loud and clear. We will be a top 15 team. I have us somewhere around 12, 13 when it's all said and done. But if they show up and show out, all we got to do is be top 8 and we're good. I'm not giving them that automatically just because we brought in Tyreek and Armstead and Connor Williams. I'm not, because some teams brought in more. Some teams did a whole lot more collectively on their team than we did. We got an amazing left tackle and an amazing receiver. Some people got 3 amazing O-linemen, amazing corner, add an amazing receiver, add an amazing linebacker and a defensive end. Some teams did all of that. All we do is pay attention to ours. Coke said 14 makes the playoffs, and I would tell you now you are wrong. Remember, I said we'd be top 15. We can't afford to be 13, 14, or 15 because you can't just say 7-7. Top 15 might include 10 AFC teams. Think about it. The top 15 might include 10 AFC teams. It might only be 5 NFC teams, which could still keep you out of the playoffs. Look at the AFC, way better than the NFC right now. Way better than the NFC right now. So you can't look at it as long as we top 14, we got a playoff spot. This is the AFC, baby. This is the AFC. You got to be top 10. Top 10 in the NFL if you want a playoff spot. And I know we're going to be a great team and we're going to leapfrog some of these teams. You never know. The Chiefs may fall below us. They may not even be as good as us. You know, Baltimore may not be as good as us. We don't know yet. But on paper and the way that we know these teams are constructed, I can name you 10 teams right now that many will automatically consider better. Kansas City Chiefs. Baltimore Ravens. I'll start with those two. People still going to consider them better. until we prove it. Cincinnati, Chargers, they're going to consider them better. Buffalo, Raiders, they're still going to consider these teams better. Here we are, 6 in. Browns, they're going to. Denver, we already at 8, and they're going to consider them better. And it might be too. I got to think through these teams. Tennessee, they're still going to consider them better. They still going to run the heck out of the ball on everybody. And the rest of these teams, some of them won't consider us that much better than some of the Colts. Maybe, that's where I start getting a little pushback. I don't know. Pittsburgh, I start giving a little pushback. I don't know. We got to see it first. But we're in that realm for not saying that we are the Patriots. I'm going to give a little pushback because we'll see. Week 1, but we're in that realm. That's how they'll view us. Not saying that's what it is. Because them 9 teams I just named, we might be better than half of them off rip. But we don't know that yet because many won't say that. Many wouldn't even dare put us above them. But when you talk about the Colts, you talk about Pittsburgh, you talk about the Patriots, these are teams they're going to put us in the echelon with. They're going to put us in that realm. That's what I'm saying, but I just named 9 teams. So I stand corrected. I said 10, but I named 9 teams that most people will consider is better than us. They will. Let me go down the list, make sure I ain't missing any. I'm not going to include the Jets, but I'm telling you, people think they coming. People think they coming. And I'm not going to include Houston. But we got to look out because Houston did get a lot better this offseason, and people going to shrug them off because of Davis Mills, but he's Tua Tagovailoa, if not better when you look at it statistically. But y'all know I don't just go off statistics. I go off the eye test. But even in the eye test, one thing about Davis Mills, he's fearless. He going to take his 5-6 shots a game deep. He let that ball fly. So we got to climb the charts 1 week at a time. And right now with our financial situation, man, we got a window. 2 years, and if they kick the can the right way, we got 3 years. So we got to figure it out. When Browns get Watson back, I'm telling y'all, I think it's going to be 8 games. And if you don't know what's going on in that situation, let me also read this to y'all. This came out yesterday. And this is one of the guys that's verified. Oh man, where is it? Y'all give me a second. This situation is getting very interesting. They're not remember the NFL came out 2 weeks ago and said they're very close to basically handing down suspension for Watson. And it's taken too long, and everybody's like, what's going on? I mean, league. Because the league basically say they have all the information they pretty much needed. Where's the suspension? And the league say it's coming real soon, but it hadn't come. And they released this yesterday, not the NFL, but somebody released this yesterday of what was kind of going on. Where is that? Give me a second. Let me read it. They're not coming down with the suspension. Basically, they're insinuating that right now they're negotiating the suspension. They're negotiating the suspension with the NFLPA. And the NFLPA has a case. And let me tell y'all why. Let me break this down. What the NFLPA is essentially saying, work with Watson on a suspension of 6 to 8 games. So the NFLPA is basically telling them you need to work with him, and it needs to be a suspension between 6 to 8 games. Or we're taking this to court and opening a can of worms on Snyder, Jones, and rest of the owners. All while, if it does go to court, Watson will end up being able to play until it is resolved. Let me tell y'all why the NFLPA said you need to work with Watson and give him 6 to 8 games, because if you don't, then we're taking it to court and we bring in basically hell on Snyder, Jones, and the rest of the owners. Because you know what Snyder did, and you know what Jerry Jones out here doing. Ain't no difference from Robert Kraft getting his little happy self-endings with a human trafficking ring down here in Florida. But let me tell you why that's significant, why they're threatening that. This process is much more of a negotiation than the public knows, which would indicate these talks are already going on. Hold on, let me find it for y'all. Let me read it. Man, where is it? See, it's the bylaws of the NFL. Basically, because I don't see it right now, I have to search for it. Basically, this is what's going on. The bylaws of the NFL, in their bylaws, it states that owners and front office owners and all of them, they are to be held at a much higher extreme. They have so much more responsibility. They have to be upheld at a way further standard than the players. That is in their bylaws, in their contract. So when you got these owners having transgressions and only getting minimal punishment, people like Watson and stuff like that, who hasn't been found guilty in a court of law. Now, remember that now. He has not been found guilty. At this point, he won't be found guilty. There is a difference between guilt and liability. And that's the problem that people are not paying attention to right now. What some of y'all need to realize, the case is over already. He is not criminally liable for anything. They looked at all the evidence and said there is nothing here to charge him with the crime. Civilly, that's liability. That's what he's liable for. The NFL doesn't care about liability like y'all think. They're already negotiating a punishment, and everybody out here talk about we need to wait to see how it play out. What does it matter? The NFL doesn't care nothing about the lawsuits. Half the players in the NFL have a lawsuit against them right now. People making this more than it is. To the NFL, most people who understand the case, it's already over. The worst that can happen now is a jury say, well, Watson, we feel you should pay these women something. Oh, crap. Okay. How much? Well, we think you need to give them $1.5 million each. Crap, man. That's almost $30 million. All right. Here come y'all money. And he go on about his life. There ain't no jail to be served. There ain't no punishment other than monetary from this point forward. It's done. Now he just has to figure out whether he's going to have to pay money or not, because the prosecution determined there is nothing to justify us even thinking we could win a case against him for a crime, because he admitted to everything they said he did. He asked me for this and I did it. It's not a crime. He exposed himself and you stayed and you came back again, then it's not a crime. Well, I felt like I had to. You got to go take that up on the civil end. If he bothered your feelings or made you feel like you had to do something for your reputation, that's quid pro quo and all that. Go take that up on the civil end. That ain't got nothing to do with it. We ain't dealing with that criminally. We trying to get facts that this man held you down or took your or forced you, blah, blah, blah. We ain't getting none of that from y'all. And what Deshaun Watson come out the other day and say? You know, I may have done some things, but I have never forced myself. I've never forced anybody to do anything past their will. People forgetting that these women had a choice to do it. What they're really claiming is the fact that they felt obligated to do it. They felt obligated. They weren't forced. They felt obligated. And everybody like, well, we got to let this play out. It's over. Now it's his personal business. He gonna be in court, but don't get me wrong, the women's lawyers, he's doing a great job. It's his job in the public opinion to just smash them and just try to beat them up. All right, put this out that he did this. Put that out that he did that. Let's make it gruesome. Make the public hate him because he's gonna want it to go away. It's gonna make him want to settle quicker. That's the name of the game. Y'all think Watson is truly bothered? No. Watson, I mean, you can see it. He ain't apologizing. I'm sorry about the people that it's affected around me, but I've done nothing wrong. This man don't care. He knows good and well that the acts that he committed, it's not favorable. It's how he gets down, which is pretty disgusting in my opinion, but it's how he gets down. A lot of people get down like that. There's a lot of NFL players and quarterbacks now that get down like that. But it caught up to him. So all he stands to lose is millions of dollars. That's his personal business now. Everybody around here would. But people think that if a jury says we feel that he's liable for whatever and we think he should pay, that's his business. That ain't no guilt. That ain't no guilt to a crime. And the NFL already knows that. That's why they already negotiating a suspension. Otherwise, we wouldn't know until next year. But he'll get a suspension this offseason. People making this way more than they need to be only because, number one, some of them hate him. Number two, some of them mad that he threatened to his job. So basically, they want to see him fall. And number three, everybody want to be the newfound advocates for women's rights and things like that. And don't get me wrong, Deshaun Watson, he shouldn't carry himself that way. But let me tell you something. It can be unpopular as it is. But if you ain't commit a crime, now you did pray and like seek out these women. But let's not sit here and act like every single one of them didn't know that. Especially for you to come back. Especially for some of them to come back. Somebody said, yeah, 24 women all lying. No. I don't think all of them lying at all. I don't know the number of who's lying and who's not. I'll go out on a limb to tell you at least 20 of them telling the truth. But listen, even if 20 of them telling the truth, Deshaun Watson say they telling the truth. That's what some of y'all failing to realize. Deshaun Watson is agreeing with most of these women. Yeah, we did that. Yeah, I asked her that. Yeah, she did that to me. Yeah, I did this. Yes, that's true. What did she say I did? Yeah, I did that. He's actually admitting to him, but it wasn't a crime. Go read the affidavits. Go read the court documents. A lot of these women are saying, well, he asked me to do this, and I felt uncomfortable, but I did it in fear of my career. Ain't no crime. As an adult, you have a decision to make. If somebody's doing something wrong to you, you say no, you leave, you walk out. But if you say yes, think about it. As a man, I like you, I want you, and I tell you that. Okay, cool. All right, you can have me. I'm supposed to be charged of a crime? It ain't my responsibility to. Now, in today's world, it'll be smart to say, now, I don't want you to feel like you have to, but that ain't legally required. So, no, these women ain't lying. Most of these women, he has actually, if you look at his depositions, he has agreed. The lawyer, this woman said she did this to you. Yeah, she did. This woman said you asked her to do this. Yeah, I did. Go read them. Like I said, man, some people making this way more than listen, it's already over. That civil stuff, they gonna figure that out. And if them women deserve money, if those women deserve money and a jury decide that what happened in those rooms warrant them getting paid, they gonna get paid. Stop defending this trash. I'm not defending it. I'm telling you the facts of the case. That's why some of y'all looking crazy now. Oh, Watson going to jail. And I'm like, look at the facts of the case. It ain't even possible. I don't even think he gonna get charged. TD, you don't know what you talk about. He going to jail. He getting charged. Where all that went? What happened? What happened to the charges? Some of y'all be sowing your feelings. I'm not defending the trash. I just told you what he did. All that stuff, that's disgusting behavior to me. That is disgusting behavior to me. But some of y'all can't get past the facts of the case. It is what it is. The grand jury, 2 different grand juries, by the way, already determined. We ain't got nothing to charge him of a crime. He admitting to everything they saying, and they're not even reporting crimes. With the exception of maybe 1 or 2 people that said he took my hand and put it here or something like that. But it hurts their case because it's not consistent with what everybody else says. Like, he never forced anything, but I felt this way. I saw him and I was in decent exposure, and it could be a misdemeanor, right? Yeah, come on, man. Come on. You keep saying it's not a crime, TD. He's not going to get charged in criminal court, but it's still a crime under civil law. It's not a crime under civil law. You're liable under civil law. Under civil law, there's liabilities. In criminal court, there's crimes, man. Gosh, man. If it was a crime, even if it was civil, you could be charged in criminal court. Extortion, all of those things when it comes to a monetary standpoint. He's liable for whatever they went through. It is a lawsuit, which means they're seeking damages for what they went through. Otherwise, they'd be in the criminal courts trying to seek his punishment, accountability, in which some of them tried and it went nowhere. He's liable. Liable. Because if it was a crime, then he can be convicted for it and indicted and spend time in jail. A civil court ain't putting you in jail. Man, my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, minor in psychology, master's in administration of justice and security. Stop. No, I didn't take the bar. I didn't go to law school. But stop. That's what I went to school for. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I keep on hearing facts from TD. Talk to him, TD. Nah, bro, this ain't about me. I'm just talking about the facts of the matter. And people don't like it because they be in their feelings because they believe what they listen. Some people listen. It's called it's the herd mentality. As long as every media outlet is saying this or saying that, oh my gosh, I'm just disgusted, and they still trying to maintain this narrative. If what they say is true, then shut up. If you don't know it's true, then why you sitting here? Oh my gosh, he needs to this and he needs to that. Then why don't you give the alternative? If what they say ain't true, then what? Nobody talk about that. All these people on TV, if what they say is true, he's the then go ahead. I'll take that. If you go give me the flip side, if what they say ain't true, then what? Nobody, not a single soul out there talking about that. See, nobody have true respect for the legal system, but they want to use it to try to demonize people and try to write their narratives. Nobody. And I've maintained the fact that if Deshaun Watson did anything that is a criminal act against anybody, I don't care if they throw him under the jail. That's his business. He put himself in that situation. And technically, even though right now there's no proof he did, he still put himself in that situation, and shame on him anyway. So, yeah, I'm just like most people. I got my opinion. That's shame on him. Making all that money, a role model, X, Y, and Z, and this is where most men fall off. They can't control that aspect of their life. They can't control that type of aspect of their life. And at the end of the day, who am I to judge? So I'm 37 years old. I ain't going to sit here and act like I wasn't 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, living my life at any point. But for him to get to the point to where he at now, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. To even be in a situation to be accused of this type of stuff is unacceptable. But that ain't going to stop me from looking at the facts. You shouldn't be in this situation, but at the same token, I got to look at the facts of what actually happened. And this man the entire time has maintained his innocence from doing any wrongdoing in regards to criminal activity. He said it on the podium. I have never assaulted, forced any woman to do anything they weren't willing to do. And I have seen no lie yet based off of the reports. And this is why two grand juries convened and said, we ain't got nothing. We will not be bringing charges against him. And now so many people so mad that they were wrong and wanted him to be under the prison, and most of them 2 years because they were mad. They want him to be they are so mad that there were no criminal charges, that every chance they get to smear him. Oh my gosh, there was another case that came out against him. Oh my gosh. At this point, does it matter? He could have had 18 and the 19th would have came and y'all would have act like that. He can get up to 40. He can get up to 40. Once you get past 5, 3, 4, 5, it's all, it is what it is. But again, time always tells. But the reason why you need to pay attention to this situation is because the NFLPA is putting pressure on the NFL. A lot of people you got a lot of people talk about, oh, he needs to be banned from the NFL for a few years. Why? For not being committed of a crime? Not even being charged of a crime? Hey, what is all on your mouth? You were brushing your teeth again?
Yeah.
Cammy, you're supposed to brush your teeth with mommy or daddy in the bathroom with you because you get all this toothpaste over you.
I want you to do that.
And you can't brush your teeth 4 times a day like that. We already know what we're supposed to do. In the morning, after breakfast, and before bed, okay?
Okay.
Unless you get too much in your mouth in the middle of the day. Say cheese.
Cheese.
You did a good job, though.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hi.
But you got toothpaste on your face. So go wash your face, okay? Wash your face and leave the toothpaste alone. No more brushing your teeth right now. Okay? I know, but you can't do that. You can't. Oh, never mind. I'm gonna have to go clean that restroom. When he brushes teeth, there's toothpaste everywhere. We be going through. Yes. Did you brush your teeth?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a mess in the restroom? Is it clean?
I just used the green toothpaste.
Mm-hmm.
It was blue, and then I squirted on, and I brushed it.
But is the restroom clean?
Yeah.
Make sure Cammy wash his face, okay? Go help him, all right? Thank you.
But Daddy, I want some mac and cheese for you.
I'll get it soon. Is mommy taking a nap?
No, she's working.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. That's how my kids are with toothpaste. Boy, oh boy. And he's helping them better understand what words mean. Well, I don't know who you're talking about. Maybe me. I don't know. TD out here advocating for triple brushing. Triple brushing. I'm just saying. Um, when I was growing up, I brushed my teeth in the morning and that was it. That's one thing that I didn't really this is what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of people were raised, and there's a lot of things that, at least in my community, that we really weren't raised. Like, you'd be raised, brush your teeth in the morning, and that's it. But technically, you're supposed to brush your teeth in the morning, after meals and at night. Wash your face this amount of times a day, all of that type of stuff. These are things I wasn't really truly raised on. My parents were working hard, always at work and doing the best they can. So I just try to do better, teach my kids as best as possible. And I know I'm probably coming up short in certain areas that I still don't realize, but you just got to make sure that your job is to make sure your kids are raised better than you were, and keep that momentum going and make sure that they know to raise their kids better than you raised them, and keep that moment, legacy growth. Like, don't keep this repetitive system going. And nobody's perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. That's the thing, man. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, y'all. Nobody's perfect, but we demonize people so much, man. It's like, I heard something the other day with Kevin Hart. He said, they love you so much on your way up, but once you get up there, their whole goal is to bring you down. They are in love with you on the way up. Yeah, go. And once they see you up there on that mountain, their number one mission is to bring you down. Anything you do, oh, yeah, see, kill them. So that's why I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm not advocating for Watson, but he human. Ain't nobody I ever met ain't got no sin in this world. He human. He needs to be a better man from what he's put himself in, but he deserves that opportunity. And everybody don't get that opportunity. That's all good too. But at the end of the day, if you got an opportunity, who am I to stop that? Some people just so nasty, man. They nasty. Act like they've never needed grace in their life. And maybe the reason why you don't have grace is because you don't give it to nobody else. God give you grace anyway, though. I'm just saying, everybody gets it. But yeah, man, I just don't understand that, man. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you do in this world. I don't care if you commit a pure evil act. God, dog, why you had to do it. But you know what? I hope you find something better in your mental, something better in your brain. I hope you become a better person. Even if that means you behind bars for the rest of your life, I hope you become a better person in there. I hope whatever. I just hope that you find healing. I hope you find better in your life. Some people, the only thing they have is the dog on other people. Why? Because they mad. They ain't doing nothing in their life theyself. They mad. They ain't doing nothing for themselves. All these people sitting around here with goals and things that, like, I remember when I was teaching high school, I would ask them 10th and 11th and 12th graders. I'd be like, man, if you could live the perfect life, what would you do? Well, I would be a doctor. I said, shut up, stop lying. If you could do whatever you want to do, what would you do? Well, I would go be a doctor. Shut up, stop lying. So you mean to tell me if you could just be on a yacht in a private jet with just traveling the world and vacationing every day, you wouldn't? Well, of course I will. Then shut up. What would you do in a perfect world? But that's not realistic. God, dog, this world got our kids' minds so shot. And that's why they get into this repetitiveness of going to work on social media and just trying to who did something bad today so I can get on the train of dragging them. When the truth is, the only reason you doing that and not uplifting people is because you sad because you ain't living the life you wish you could live. It's all it is. All these just mad you ain't living the life that you could live. And I challenge everybody watching this stream right now. I don't care what your life situation is. Don't ever forget about what you want to do in life. And your situation may not mean that you can just go all in on it right now, but you got to have some element in your life to start preparing you for it or getting ready for it. Don't go through this rat race. Go to work, raise the kids, watch the game at night, listen to a stream, go to sleep, wake up and do it again 4 more times in a week. Then when you get to the weekend, you phone strolling, maybe do a little something here and there, but you're just going through the motions. No, you know good and well from a young child or even a desire. I don't care if you play the lotto every week. Why you play the lotto? It's something you want. Something you want. Start thinking. Sit back and say, I don't care if you're 60, 70, 80 years old. Start thinking, how can I position myself to get more money to do that? How can I position? And it ain't about everything. I understand that money ain't about everything. It ain't about everything. But at the same token, a lot of times you need money to do a lot of things that you would love to do. But don't sit here and be one of those people that be like, I don't have to have the money. I could be content and happy where I am. Yeah, you keep lying to yourself and sitting on social media dogging people for their sins. When the number one sin you committing yourself is the simple fact you ain't going after the purpose God gave you and you capable of it. Flipside Fishing said, you're making me depressed. That's my life now. I'm so glad you put that comment, Flipside Fishing, bro, because I'm glad that you said I'm making you depressed. Guess what? Let's do something about it, homie. Let's do something about it. You know you be hitting me up on back channels. Hit me up. Let's talk about what do you want your life to be? Let's talk about your life situation. Let's talk about, hey, have you ever considered this? Have you ever considered that? Or maybe you can do this and it could also transition you into that. Hit me up, bro. We ain't going to stop right there. That's my life now and that's the end of it. Move on to the next stream. No. Let's talk about it. Let's scheme together. And I ain't saying scheme in a negative way. Let's plot together in a positive way. Let's, hey, what you want to do? I don't know. I know you like fishing. Maybe the thing that you love can be the thing that elevates you to the life you want. Maybe every time you go fishing, it's time to invest in a GoPro. And maybe you paste those videos on YouTube on a regular basis. And the fishers going to love it. And they're going to start following you. And they're going to start donating to your cause. And now you already a step towards reaching what you want to do in life. I mean, we got to start scheming, people. We got to start making moves. We got to. Somebody say, you catch any peacock bass? Y'all don't know nothing about it, boy. And they're my favorite fish to catch, by the way, peacock bass. Drive out west. Come on, my parents live in Hollywood. Drive out west out there on Griffin. Not the canal, but I got some spots out there by 75. I got some spots out there by 75. Peacocks all day. Talk about them big boys with the little brains on their head. But yeah, man, let's plot, man. Let's make things happen. Let's make things happen. I mean, you see me, I'm out here, but I got a goal and a dream to retire my entire family and create a community. Like my big vision and goals is to create a community that's self-thriving, where you don't need to rely on the government. You don't need to rely on anything. You gardening, livestock, you got everything you need in that community on those thousands of acres. And you have a self-sufficient community where all your food is there, all your everything is there, and it's his own little system that's so low cost that everybody is just thriving. That's a goal of mine, just creating that. So I can't just get straight to the goal. I got to say, what do I love? I love debating and talking sports. Well, I got to build me a channel that could bring me in some revenue. Is TDPHINSTALK gonna do it on its own? No. Then that means I need to go create a sports network that's going to build a sports empire. Who knows? I might get picked up by Netflix or whatever, the innovative. I don't know, but I'm plotting. I'm scheming. I want to get to my goals. It's sitting over there, but I ain't got to be depressed all the time. I'm not there. I'm not there. No, I need to stay in this plot area so that I can keep on walking them steps to get there. Everybody want that instant gratification. This is what I want, but I can't get it right away. You want to make moves that try to get it right away and keep failing. No, take one step at a time. Take one step at a time. And even if I fall short, trust me, my life is going to end up better than it would have been had I sat there pouting the whole time. See, what some of y'all fail to realize is I was a school teacher and an overnight security officer. Picked up a part-time job when my wife was having Carter so I could make sure she didn't have to work. And I was a school teacher and an overnight security officer. I would go overnight security at 11 p.m., get off at 7 a.m., rush to go to the school to teach. Literally, I'm at the security office changing into my professional school attire, and I'm taking off to the school, and I'm getting out of the school at 4 p.m. I'm driving to pick up my oldest sons from school and take them to football practice at 5. I'm getting out of football practice at 8. We're going home, eating dinner, taking showers, doing all of that. We're done at 10. I'm taking me a 45-minute power nap and zooming to work in 15 minutes to go do security again. All of that while plotting and going online and ordering a little phone stand and a light because I want to start a YouTube channel. Doing all of that. And on the weekends, I got some time off filming some of my first videos. Well, I don't have the time. I don't this and that. I get it. You're tired, man. You're raising kids. You're doing this, doing that. It's hard to find time and you really want that time to rest. I get it. I get it. I promise you I get it. We got to pick ourselves up and put everything we got in us into it because it's going to work out. It's going to work out. And I ain't telling you I got no secret or anything like that, but I think one of the main reasons I'm headed in the right direction and I'm continuously blessed is the simple fact that I'm not alone. Y'all know me. I'm very outspoken when it comes to my faith. I don't hide it. You know, I don't feel like I need to hide it for some people who don't believe because I don't force my belief on them. But that's one of the main reasons I feel like I get the strength is because of my faith. And I'm humble enough to know that don't make me perfect. I'm not greater than thou. I sin. I'm not perfect. I try not to, but that don't mean I don't. I ain't better than anybody. I ain't better than Watson. I ain't better than Tua. I ain't better than you, your mama, your brother, your cousin, nobody. I ain't better than nobody. But I'm plotting, man. I'm trying to do better for me and my family. And it ain't always perfect. It ain't always good. But and I got my best teammate on my side, my wife, who has never not supported me, who is always, even when I'm like, man, I'm a little worn. All right, baby, take some rest, but you got this. She always there in my corner. That's why I appreciate y'all, like on her birthday and stuff like that. Y'all be cash apping her and all that. Thank y'all so much. I try every chance I get to make her feel special, and to know that this is what I've been doing and y'all helping me make her feel special is always a blessing. Thank y'all so much. But real talk, man, I don't want to hear from nobody. If you sitting there and you content with your life, by all means be content with your life. I don't want to hear no complaining about it. Not in my vicinity. But if you complaining about your life, you ain't got to be alone. Your boy right here. That's the one thing. Y'all be seeing me on Instagram. Everybody that hit me up on Instagram, I reply to at least 90% of y'all. You can't tell me I'm wrong. And everybody who hit me up on Facebook, I'm sorry. I don't be on Facebook Messenger like that because every month and a half I go on Facebook Messenger, I have 300 messages and 200 of them is a half-naked person trying to, hey, cutie, and this and that. There's too much nasty advertisement on Facebook now. It's ridiculous. So I don't even use Facebook Messenger. And people be in there, hey, TD, do you answer your Facebook messages? I saw that the other day. And it was back from August of last year. I'm like, dang, ain't no need to respond now. So anybody on Facebook, I'm sorry, I don't respond. Go to Instagram. Twitter, I respond to people, but again, Twitter, Twitter is like me, and I don't drink like that. But Twitter is like me getting drunk and just going to have fun. So I don't take nothing serious on Twitter. I'm about that action on Twitter. I'm about that war. I'm for the streets on Twitter. However you want to put it. On Twitter, I rile people up on Twitter, boy. I say any and everything, can care less. So I don't know. You want to have a real serious conversation, hit me up on Instagram, man. But hey, man, and life is also about partnerships. Life is also about partnerships, relationships. Maybe you trying to do something, you can't do it, but you never know who else out there trying to do it, and y'all can work together. Maybe you could work together. Maybe they got some information that may help thrust you in the direction you're trying to head. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I'm not a big money person, but I understand what we need it for. I understand what money is used for. And unfortunately, it ain't much you can do in this country for doggone show without it. So excuse me, I'm trying to get it at all costs. And not at all costs, because if I was, I'd be the biggest Tua fan there was. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm about to flip shop. I'm about to flip on y'all. I'm about to flip on y'all. I got to go get this paper, man. Tua for president, man. I got to go get this paper. Oh, man. Tua, man, listen, man. That's why I ain't going to lie. I hope he end up being great. It's going to be better for me to be able to report it. If he end up being great now, okay, all right, this is going to work out. Oh, my gosh. Y'all funny. But yeah, man, but for real, man, and I love talking business, man. I love talking business and stuff. I've been talking a lot of business lately with a lot of people, a lot of things, and a lot of opportunities been coming my way in proposals, but I got to be very careful and selected in what I do. TD will be swearing he saw him walking on water. Listen, man, I'm here for it. What you missed, T-Rich? Tua is the GOAT. T-Rich, Tua the GOAT, baby. You might want to donate $5 for this tape, T-Rich. Next video, why Tua is the best QB in the AFC East. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. Listen, man, it is what it is. But like I was saying, man, we got to do better with all this hating on, people's situation when they go through something, when they make a mistake and they fail. It ain't nothing wrong with you giving your opinion and condemning things, but for us to wish certain things on certain people, that's when you get to a whole nother level, man. You shouldn't wish bad on anyone. You could say what they did is bad as much as you want, but you shouldn't wish bad on anyone, no matter what they do, man. No matter what they do. All right. And like I said, it's really those people that's unhappy with their own life that participates in that type of behavior. And if you're unhappy with your life or you want to do more, man, reach out to some people, talk to some people. Maybe you don't have all the answers. We all don't have all the answers, but communicate with people. And if you're okay with where you at and you just need, conversation about life and trying to do more, man, chat it up. Let's chat it up. Let's chat it up, man. I'm here, man. I got a bigger calling than just talk about fins up all day. I got a bigger calling, and I don't shy from it. I like helping people, even if it's through my words or suggestions and information. Y'all don't understand. I've gotten I've been blessed since I was a young man, and I've always catered my life to my blessing and not speaking also. But in order for me to be effective in using what God gave me, I've had to accumulate a lot of education. And some of it may not transform into, like bar, certifications and all this and that. But I got a lot of education, a lot of licensing, a lot of certifications, a lot of different stuff, man. I already told y'all my education. Also know about life insurance, know the ins and outs about life insurance. Um, I had my series license for investment. All there is to know about investing in the stock market. Um, Insurance expert in insurance, because these were fields that I actually were managed work my way up the management ladder in. Education as well, did a stint there. Law, security, economics, which is my favorite subject to teach. If I did go back to being a school teacher, I recertify in economics. That's my favorite because economics is all you need to know. Learn economics, ladies and gentlemen. You'll understand the world. You'll understand why inflation is the way that it is, why the housing market's the way that it is. And you'll know when you turn the TV on how much lies are being told. But you can't tell nobody that they're lies because they don't have the education to know that they're lies. It's crazy. Um, it's crazy what's going on right now. That's why I be telling y'all on streams, prepare yourself. It is going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. You got to be prepared for it. But I will say this, if you're blessed enough to have cash reserves sat to the side, when it's at its worst, take advantage of it and boss up. All I'll say is this, and I am not a stockbroker, so don't try to report me to the SEC. I am not a stockbroker. But I will tell you this, if you go look at the stock market, if it continues to crash, and it does crash, and it goes sub 20,000 or whatever in the coming months, if that happens and you are blessed enough to have cash reserves, don't miss your opportunity. Because what I will tell you, 9.99999 times out of 10, the market will return to 35,000. It will. 9.99999 times out of 10, at some point, it's going to return. Same thing happened in 08 when the market went as low as like 6,000 or something like that. It sure as heck went right back up to 19 and exceeded. If you have cash reserves, if you prepare for this moment. But what you need to know is some people prepare for this moment and they continuously create these moments. So you got to get on that wave. Stocks will always go back up. Just don't stress it. Yeah, but sometimes people need to know it's a dangerous game, but when to get out and when to get back in, or just keep it in. I remember working in corporate America, and I remember our 401ks. I had a fellow coworker, supervisor, who basically like 20 years in, they had like over 300 grand in their retirement fund. And I remember the crash, and I remember that 300 grand went down to like 140, and they panicked and they pulled it all out. And literally about 4 months later, it was right back where it should have, where it was. Right back where it was. And I told them, leave it in there. I'm supposed to retire soon. I can't afford that. You can't afford to one something you pulled out anyway. Leave it in there, and they didn't. TD, you don't lose money until you trade. You don't lose money until you trade. That depends. I agree with the theory in which you're presenting long term, but sometimes if you understand the market and how it works, you can take advantage of ebb and flows. You can take advantage of it. Take Zillow and all of those housing tech companies, for example. When COVID started and the housing boom was here, that's what you wanted to buy into. And as soon as they reached their peak and you knew that they were creating a bubble, it's a good opportunity to trade. Get out of it. Because ever since then, almost every single one of them have been reduced by 50%. But that don't mean in the future they ain't gonna go right back up. So that's where you want to utilize your put options. A lot of money has been made. put options. You know it's going down because of the situation. Oil, everybody should listen. I ain't finna get political, but everybody should have knew oil was gonna go up. As soon as the election and the president was chosen, everybody should have knew the oil was gonna go up. All you got to do is go look at the last 4 or 5 administrations, and you could establish a pattern now. Unless there's a world event like a war or COVID, but you knew because you know what one of the biggest fights in politics are: offshore drilling, fracking. One group allows it, the other group doesn't. One group open up everything, the other group restricts everything. You should know that. So if one side get in, you should know where to move your money. The other side get in, you should know where to move your money. See, there's so many things in the market that you should know if you really paying attention to it. I worked in the oil field back in the Obama days. They crushed it. Yeah, it's and this ain't about politics of who's better and which one is right or wrong. But you should, before every general American, you should know, depending on what party gets in the White House, what the oil's gonna do. You should know. It's clear as day now. Unless there's a major situation. Unless there's a major situation that alters it anyway, you should know. It's clear. Fossil fuels over here, electric and Green New Deal over there. I mean, you should know how this works, man. You should know where to put your money. You should know where to put your money. I remember when I first really got my crash course of it and I knew it was real because I used to fly back and forth from Dallas to Miami all the time. And I remember in one administration, we would fly over the Gulf of Mexico and it's completely black the entire flight. The entire flight is completely black. And you're like, I can't see nothing out there because it's ocean and it's nighttime on the plane. You don't see nothing. Then another administration got in. Every flight, the whole Gulf of Mexico was lit up. The whole Gulf. You can look out the plane. Dot, 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 dot. Light, 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 light. Lights everywhere. Lights everywhere in the Gulf. Man, lights are everywhere in the Gulf. And as soon as the party changed again, pitch black again. Pitch black. Pitch black. And you just know where the money goes. Man. That's what I do, a frac supervisor. That's what's up, man. Hey, I always wondered though, like if you out there on a rig, do y'all ever fish? Because I know it'd be some of the best fishing around those rigs. Do y'all be fishing from the rig, or is it something you just don't do? I'm just curious. I always wondered that because every time I watch a fishing video in the Gulf, people, every time I watch one, look at this. Yeah. Mommy told me to look at it.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Oh man. But yeah, man, I always wondered that do they fish from the rigs, man? Because I know it got to be some of the best fishing. Because every time I watch a video of fishing, like in the Gulf, people be close to rigs and they be catching them up like big ones or whatever. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's all I'm saying, man. It's a lot of indicators out there where you should put your money, but people don't be knowing. I mean, even right now, you're being told the president is telling the oil companies stop getting record profits and take less profits so we can help the people. I'm just like, okay, like in what world is that going to happen? Because you're just saying it, but that tells you all you need to know. That tells you all you need to know, man. When prices are skyrocketing, but a lot of people making money because their stocks are just killing it in that sector. And I'm telling you, as soon as some type of movement happened in the legislation, even after the midterms, it might be a shift. But more likely a presidential election. If the parties change next election, I'm telling you, dump that money, Put puts on it if they allow you to with oil. I've never tried that. I gotta look into it. Put your puts on it if you can, and get out of it. And you'll save money and it'll go back down. It'll go back down. It'll be cheap again. And there you have it. And then if it changes again, put your money in it because it's gonna rise. It's just a difference in policy, you know, and I get it. Some people don't want to use gas and oil anymore. They want electric cars. That's the way that they're trying to move progressive. See, let me tell you, even this inflation, don't let people lie to y'all. This inflation is not the war in Russia. Yeah, it has an impact, but it's much more smaller than you think. It's not many of the things that they're saying. The truth is, it was created because of the stimulus, the checks that were sent out. We needed it. America needed it. Not everybody, but America needed it. But that's what it was created for. If you don't understand what printing money does, it devalues money. Devaluing money basically increases the price of goods. And people don't understand that basic concept, so I guess it's not as basic. Basically, money is technically fictional, y'all. It's fictional. Money ain't real. It's real because when we hand it to somebody, we get something. But money can just be made and printed. But what is it being backed up against? We used to be on the gold standard, and now we got more money than the gold and the reserves. So obviously something's off balance, right? They could just print money at any time. The problem is you think that we could just print unlimited amount of money and it just stands for what it is. No, if we took every dollar in circulation today and we printed another amount of that, double the money, that means your dollar last week is now worth 50 cents. It still says $1, but it's worth 50 cents. But they can't say, hey, this is worth 50 cents. So what they do is they just double the price of what you're paying for. So in order for your dollar now to be worth 50 cents, they'll take that 50 cents bag of chips and now they sell it for $1. That's what inflation is. That's why the price of everything is going up, because the dollar in your pockets are not worth what they used to be because we just printed more. We just printed. We opened up the print shop. Some of y'all, I think I just explained it the easy way, but some people still don't understand that. They don't understand that. That's why inflation is going off the way that it is. And there's other little factors with the shortages and the war. But really the war is only because we printing money that's in there too. And I'm not saying I'm against that or for it. So don't think that I'm making a stand here or nothing like that. But that's what it is. That's why inflation is the way that it is. So who's paying for it? All of us are paying for it. All of us are paying for it. Your dollars are not worth as much now. And the problem in all of this, the only reason it's going crazy, yes, supply chain too, T-Rich, but it's, again, supply chain, war, and all of that, those are so much smaller than people think. It's actually just the fact that we printed trillions of dollars during the pandemic. And I'm not here to get into whether we should have or not, right? But that's the cause. But you also have to know as Americans that when we printed that stimulus money, go look at the 10 million page document of the bills. Do you know that the money that was given out in stimulus checks are like 5 pages of 10 million pages? What are all those other pages? Electric stations, electric cars, funding for this, funding for reading in Bangladesh, whoever that is in this world, 50 million for research on apples in Korostakistan. I'm just making up names, but that's what it is. We don't ever pay attention to that. All we know is, hey, we getting a check coming in the mail. I am telling y'all now, all them checks you got during the stimulus, you have probably already spent that and more just because of the inflation. It has already been gone out of your pockets when you really look at the value of what you've been spending the last 3, 4, 5 months. It's already all gone. Now it's time where it's starting to dig into your pockets from that. And most of you already spent it. Some people were wise. They saved every penny because they knew this was coming. And I don't know, this is where my conspiracy theory kicks in. I be feeling like sometimes this stuff be done on purpose because they know certain people ain't gonna save that money, and they the ones that's gonna bleed and really hurt the most right now, causing them out on the street. That's a conspiracy. That's me just saying. But if you know this stuff, you know every check you got, sit it down because they gonna make you use it and more. And right now, people are struggling. I hope for those who work from home, you're lucky. That is really helping a lot of people, but everybody ain't blessed. Some people got to go. That gas bill is different. It hit different. Yes, sir. You want a dog? Your mama got you in there talking.
You got me the grill berries.
Yeah.
You got eat. That eat.
Tell mommy you want a dog. We'll talk about it tonight, okay?
Well, we all did that.
Boy, my wife, boy, she better stop. Conspiracy fins talk. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, but real talk, man, it's a lot going on, but a lot of people don't realize how it's impacting them. How it's impacting them, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you, in this housing market, man, it sucks because I think a lot of y'all know that, me and my wife, we were saving up to get our first home and not have to have like a mortgage. We were trying, preparing, but it's a different world now. It's a different world with the prices. What we were looking at may have been one price, but now the same thing is worth 200,000 more than what it was for what we were preparing for. And we were just almost there, and now it's a whole different world. In this housing market, this is where I do call on our legislators to please save the people. Because what many people don't know is what's causing the housing market to go crazy. It ain't this demand that y'all think that is so many buyers. No. It's corporate America robbing the system. The major companies, the big $1 trillion companies, they're going in neighborhoods and they're buying up every home that's less than 400,000. So let me give you an example. Think about your neighborhood. If there's 400 homes available for 400,000, they buy all 4 of them. They may rent them out just to make money. But then when they buy them, that brings the value of everybody's houses up because they're being sold at 400,000. But now, since there's no more homes available in the area, you could sell it for more. So they list all 4 of those at 500,000. They list all of them at 500,000. And they're going in neighborhoods and they're doing that. This ain't no situation where, oh my gosh, everybody's coming from up north in California. That's hurting too. But this is what's really happening. Corporate America, they are buying up the homes. They're either renting them out or selling them at a higher rate. What they're doing is making sure there are no homes available so that if you want one, you got to get it at this higher rate. They're just buying up everything. They're not letting the typical person be able to buy a home at what it should be worth. That's what's really happening. Don't let people sit here and tell you, oh, the buying frenzy is crazy and there's so many people trying to buy and that's why it is. No, there's so many people trying to buy now because they're taking them all up and making demand stay high. What's up?
I want some pizza today.
You want some pizza today?
Yeah.
Well, we're going on a special Father's Day dinner tonight.
Oh my.
It's still, oh, my bad. That was me. I left it on. We're going on a special dinner tonight, okay?
Okay.
So you're gonna have to get ready for that first, okay?
Why got me to it?
Huh?
What got you do to it?
We're gonna eat good, and then I'm gonna eat your belly. I'm gonna eat your belly.
I don't want broccoli.
You don't want broccoli?
Yes.
Broccoli is good.
Only you.
Only I eat broccoli?
Yeah.
You gotta eat broccoli.
No.
Is it good?
No.
How does broccoli taste?
Oh, bad.
Bad? But you scared to eat broccoli?
Yes.
What are you supposed to do when you're scared?
Face your fears.
You gotta face your fears.
I like pizza. Pizza can make me swallow things.
What? Pizza make you what?
Strong.
Pizza make you strong?
Yes.
It's not that strong. Go change your shirt. No toothpaste shirts, okay?
Why?
Because you got toothpaste all over it. All right. Interest rates on houses are low too. They were low. They were low. Now the Fed is trying to correct these issues, and they're not correcting the real issue. The real issue are corporate America buying up these homes, basically making millennials suffer it out, because the millennials are suffering the most, just so you know. And that's not good. An entire generation that can't get homes right now. So millennials are the ones who suffering the most. And it could be 10 plus years before we see interest rates below 5 or 4% again, just so you know. I mean, we're talking about, I think they just put it over 7%. Y'all don't understand. I mean, a year ago, a mortgage that would have been $1,500 a month is literally now $2,800 a month, maybe more. I haven't done the calculations with 7%, but it's so much more now, and they're gonna keep raising it to get inflation underway. Basically, what they're doing is trying to stop people from buying stuff. They're trying to raise the rates so that it's more expensive to borrow money. So when you don't borrow money, money isn't moving as much. Money is moving when there's more money out there, when people can go get credit cards, go borrow money, go get houses. They just getting money from the banks, and it's being spent, and it's just raising everything. Now they tightening it up, and it'll drop everything, but it'll also strengthen the value of the dollar. Remember, I just gave y'all a crash course on the weakness of the dollar right now, for the simple fact that we've been printing all that money. So now they want to strengthen that value and make it worth more, but it ain't gonna matter if the wages aren't gonna go up. And wages aren't gonna go up. What they're not showing you is, look at all the layoffs that are happening right now. Go look at it. No, I didn't say you gotta check. Those are pajamas. Yeah, you can't come in this camera naked. Those are pajamas. You gotta go put them. Put the pajamas on in your room, and we'll change you later. You can wear it. Lord of Jesus. But yeah, the wages aren't going up for people, so they're making it unaffordable. But again, I'm telling y'all, I just personally feel like this is the conspiracy in me. They not fretting because there's one sector that's going to survive all this, and another sector that's going to be way worse. Way worse. What's happening in this country right now that people aren't noticing? Tightening has come. I mean, people are like, screw this, I got to move in with my parents. Screw this, I got to move in with my sister. Our families have to come together. A lot of that is going on, but people don't realize it because it may not be you. And I got to be honest, people got to do what they got to do. I bought a house over a year ago at $240. Congratulations. It's going for $340 right now. But the problem is, you can't even cash in on the equity. Where you going to go? You can go get that $340 right now. Where you going to go? Go get something for $350? And it's probably not even what you got in the $240. 2008 again? No, this isn't 2008. This isn't 2008. What people don't realize is 2008 technically wasn't inflation. It was deflation. See, people don't realize that 2008 was more of deflation, suppressed, and they had to put money to bail it out and get it out of that problem, blow it up, like give it air, give it life. This is different because now we got too much life. We got too much life, too much air. And now you got to deflate it. That's why the interest rates and all of that. You can't, in other words, you can't throw money at this and fix it. Throwing money don't do nothing but make it bigger and it's going to pop. That's the difference. People need to understand. Oh, we about to have a 2008 again. Total opposite. 2008 was deflation, and you had to blow it up. You had to put money out there in the economy. You had to bail the banks out. This is different. It's inflation where you need to deflate it a little and bring it back to a healthy place. Total different situation. So people like, well, people struggling. They need to give more stimulus. It ain't gonna do nothing but make it worse. And you don't want the Great Depression. You don't want rioting. You don't want all of these issues. That's why the Fed has been wrong 4 times in a row every time they meet. Well, we're not in a recession. We're not even near a recession. You'll see the numbers come down. You'll see inflation numbers come down. First time. Well, it stayed the same, but that's a good case. That's a good indication we're at the peak. Next Fed meeting. Well, it went up, and we need to go off a 0.25 basis points to get it under control, but the economy is strong. We're fine. It went down 2 itty-bitty points. See, this is indication it's in the right direction. Not what we wanted it to be. We thought a whole lot more, but this is still good. Now it done went up massively. Yeah, time to lift these rates. We were wrong again. 0.75. Listen, if their job is not to cause panic, especially in the markets, and they make it cause a sell-off. They don't want to cause a sell-off in the markets. Because you got China sitting there like, yeah, I just hope that they don't get out of this one good, and then we're going to be the world power. Other countries are going to switch to our currency, and it's going to devalue their dollar anymore, and America won't be the same country it used to be. See, this is that economic war that nobody's talking about. Somebody was talking about it, but, a lot of people ain't like them, and I ain't here to say whether it was a good thing or not one way or the other, because I don't get into all of that. People get in their feelings when we talk about that. But somebody was ready for that war and actually started to gain ground in that war. But nobody talk about that war because it's on a whole nother level of financial education, world economics. It's a whole nother level. But people don't understand it impacts their day-to-day. And they feeling it right now. They feeling it. So these ain't the pajamas that you brought the first time, Cammy. My gosh. It's okay. We're going to give you what you want right now. You should be putting clothes on, but we're going to give you what you want, okay?
I want to have the Sonic one. So,
you want the Sonic one?
Yes, it is in the store.
The Sonic pajamas we saw the other day in the store?
Yes.
They didn't have your size. They only had Carter size. But mommy says she's going to look online and order it for you. Okay?
Okay, which one is going to be with my size?
Huh?
Which one is going to be in my size?
Mommy's going to go online and order your size, okay?
Okay.
You just have to be patient.
Okay.
Patience is important, right?
Okay. You be patient still 1 week.
1 week? So you giving me a timeline?
Yes, timeline.
Okay.
What timeline mean?
All right. There you go. Thank you.
But what will I waiting for? I want to have some pizza so much. I waited so long.
You waited so long for pizza?
Yeah.
The problem is, Cammy, you have to start eating what we give you. You can't just let it sit there, get cold, and say you don't want it, and then come back an hour later and say you want something else. So you got to learn a lesson, okay?
Okay.
The only compromise is tonight when we go out to eat. I'll get you some pizza, okay?
Okay, and tomorrow.
No, not tomorrow. Tonight, okay?
Okay, this is tonight.
All right, bye-bye. You interrupted. I'm having fun.
Don't say that.
Leave the light alone and go play with your toys, okay? Because you got about 20 minutes. And we getting ready. These kids. Keep one home, sell the others. Market is so high, it's unreal. Well, it is unreal, but they made it real. But it'll all come down to earth at some point. What's up, Alvin? I see you in here. Good makes my job easier. This traffic is ridiculous. Sell-offs in market could be bad if the other states and countries buy their currency dollar or sell it and the interest rates go down. Well, you already had two countries that already switched to the yen, Chinese currency instead of the dollar. I mean, it's happening in front of us, but we got to do a good job of keeping our economy robust and strong. But the problem is we got to give our economy a hit in order to get out of this situation. We got to strengthen the value of the dollar. And the only way the real way to do it is increase wages, but corporations aren't required to do that, and nor should they. So the reality is the US technically, they have to go cold turkey. I got to be honest with y'all. It's something the US doesn't want to do. They got to go cold turkey. They got to say, you know what? Let's just shut down government spending for 2 years. They're still going to spend money on military. In order to get in a real healthy place, they need to just shut down government spending for like 2 years. And nobody would be willing to do that. And I wouldn't even ask people to do that because that's all your social programs and everything. That's all of that. And a part of the problem is the country isn't in business. And that's what capitalism is. They want private businesses. But we got to find a way to make our own profits. Now, don't get me wrong. For the first time in like 50 years, we were making a profit 3 years ago. It was the first time that the U.S. became exporters in oil versus importing. We usually pump enough for our own country, and we got to go overseas to ship barrels over to the U.S. But this was the first time we had enough for our own country, and we were selling oil to other countries. It was the first time, so we were making money. But then COVID hit, and we weren't making money no more because we were spending everything we had on stimulus. So T-Rich said, LOL, yeah, that'll never happen. It'll never happen. Because at the end of the day, when you really think about it, if you ever go cold turkey for 2 years in the country, you're cutting off the people who need it the most. And that's always going to be looked at as, number one, racist, classist, all of it. You see what I'm saying? And this is part of the problem in politics, and nobody wants to really talk about it. The real divide. It's not all those other things. It's really classism. A certain group of people are like, we shouldn't have to deal with that just because they don't know how to manage their money and get up and get at whatever. And they're like, well, we can't manage it because we always suppressed and this and that. So that's where the real issues come, but they don't want to talk like that. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to get into that conversation because one side will look arrogant, and I mean that's just the real conversation, the nitty-gritty that nobody gets down to and talk about. Certain group of people like, we shouldn't be spending money on all these social programs. People need to do better and this and that. Stop spending their money on alcohol and drugs and this and that and this, unless they can afford it. All of that stuff. So that's the true heart of a lot of people, but it always comes out in different ways. It always comes out in different debates in different ways. So let's make Amazon pay taxes. See, T-Rich, this is where I get a lot of unpopular kickback. I'm the type of person, I don't want corporations to pay no taxes. This is where I get a lot of kickback, and we're having an adult conversation right now. So whether you agree or disagree with me, we're actually having a dialogue. I don't want corporations paying no taxes. See, there's a fine line with this. Who's employing America? Well, here's what people don't realize, and you have to speak to the wealthy people, the billionaires and millionaires, to understand this. They will always have a loophole. You raise corporate taxes, I'll lay people off, and I'll make the same profits. And when I lay people off, all I'll do is the remaining people, make them do 2.5 times the work they used to do just to make the same wage. So here's your tax money, but now I got a sweatshop. Now I got people that's stressed, anxiety. Now I got people I'm just lucky to have a job. You got unemployment at an all-time high. Nobody talks about that. It's happening right now. It's happening right now. As these companies are tightening up, They're laying people off. Nobody's talking about it. But nobody also looks at the flip side of it is, nobody's looking at the flip side at the single fact that these same corporations are the people that's giving people the jobs to survive. You need them to do that. Where else are they going to get a job? You need the corporations to provide jobs. People have this notion. No, sir. Bye-bye. I told you, let mommy know. People have this notion. People have this perception that, oh my gosh, this company made $3 trillion last year. And they think that the owner took $3 trillion, put it in a bank account and said, I'm balling. I'm balling. No, ain't no billionaire gonna take their profits and put it in their checking account, because $3 trillion, they be paying freaking $1.3 trillion in taxes. The name of the game with the wealthy is to avoid taxes. They don't want to pay taxes. They not putting that money in their bank account and doing this and that. They get paid off their salary. That's gonna happen no matter what. If their salary is $200 million this year, whether you tax me or not, I'm still getting paid $200 million. The company made $3 trillion. And what does the company do with that $3 trillion? They go open up more regions and shops around the country, employing more people so they could grow to make $5 trillion next year, but it's more jobs so that our unemployment rate goes down. You're not stopping the money that the wealthy are making. All you're doing is hurting the value of their company so they can't grow as fast, so they can't hire as many people. That's all. That's how it works. The owner gonna get his $200-300 million salary every year anyway, and it really ain't even that much. They don't want salaries that high because they don't want to pay personal tax that high. It really be lower than that. Companies also pay out large annual bonuses. That's going to happen anyway. That's why it's not taxable, T-Rich, because they're paying it to people. That brings the tax liability down. If I made $3 trillion and I give $1 trillion in bonuses, you can only tax the $2 trillion. And let me tell you something about Amazon. People need to stop talking about, why did Amazon not pay any taxes? Stop it. Amazon didn't pay taxes because our president at the time, which I see nothing wrong with, I thought it was genius, President Obama at the time, put legislation in place, the good legislation that nobody reads, giving tax credits to companies that innovate their systems by going automated. So what did Amazon and all them do? They built all these warehouses where the machines was taking the packages where they needed to go in the warehouse, sorting. No more humans in the warehouse to do it. And it wasn't to take away jobs from people. That's not why the president was doing that. It was so that the supply chain can move faster, because we're having a supply chain issue now. Companies in the legislation, there were tax credits. Any company that uses technology, innovative technology, we are going to give tax write-offs for that and pay you for that. And you could stretch it out. I forgot what the bill was, but it was over multiple years. So Amazon said, hey, the government's going to help us innovate. Do it all. They built the whole infrastructure, warehouses everywhere, automated warehouses. And they took advantage for several years of the tax credits that were given for it. And then when it was election time, always a talking point to make those who are less fortunate feel feel more empowered. We need to tax the rich so that we can make it even. You don't even know why they weren't. Amazon paid no taxes. Did anybody stop to ask why? Did anybody stop to ask why they paid no taxes? Nope. Not one, not a single. Well, people ask, but national media, they're not going to cover that. So I don't believe in this whole notion of taxing corporations like that. I mean, everybody should be taxed, but not at the level that people want them to be taxed. There was a reason corporate tax was created in the first place at a reduced level than the individual, because that's how we employ people. People don't get that. If you tax corporations at this 35, 45% rate y'all talking about, man, half of y'all be out here looking for a new job. And you won't find them because everybody to be laying off. Everybody would be laying off. The profits would be less for a company, and it's their goal to make as much profit as they can for their shareholders. So they got to do what they got to do. They got to lay people off. The unemployment would be super high. And they know this, man. They know this. They know this already. This is just political talking points to incite a group of people that feel like they're enemies with the wealthy people. That's all it is. 35 cents is excessive. Yeah. It's hard to imagine Wildcat was when Obama became president. Wildcat? Yeah, the offense. Yeah, let me see. Let me pull this up. Last one was 2000, Lamar Smith running. Oh Lord. I came here for Watson talk. Now it's Amazon talk. Listen, it's everything talk, man. I'm just chilling right now. I'm about to get out of here in about 6 minutes. Go deal with these babies. We made lunch for them today, and they sat there and looked at us like we crazy. You know, gave them some broccoli, gave them some grilled chicken, gave them some stuff, and they sat there and looked at us like we were crazy. And at some point, me and Mama Bill, we got to put our foot down and say, you don't eat, you don't eat. Can't keep accommodating them, but they going through right now. The entire half hour was Watson. Rewind the stream. Exactly. 50 Cent going to be referred to as 10 cents. Profits would be less, but the company would have more benefit. I don't get what you're saying. Profits would be less, but the company would have more benefit. Brandon Hudgens, you are correct. But what people don't understand, the job of a CEO is to make the maximum amount of profit for the shareholders. That is their sole responsibility. People don't understand that they have to run the company, but their number one responsibility is to make the max amount of profits they can for their shareholders. How do you do that? You lay people off. If taxes get raised, you lay people off. You sit there and you collect the same amount of profits before taxes were raised. So what was the benefit? You got tax dollars now, but now you got more people unemployed. So those same tax dollars ain't going to do nothing but go to unemployment and welfare. Think about that. I want you to think about that cycle. Okay, raise taxes. Now they're sending a check to the government. But now more people are unemployed and need government assistance. So the government is supplementing by giving government assistance. That's where those profits are going to go. So is it worth it? And now you're actually creating a dependence on government assistance. Now it's like, why do I need to go back to work? Government going to pay for me. They're going to help me. I might as well max this out. You see the flip side? It makes no sense. Let these people keep their job and let the companies continue to create more jobs by maximizing their profits. Browns will be a dynasty when Watson come back, if he ever goes anywhere. We already talked about Watson. Summarize it for me. What's the conclusion? The NFLPA is playing hardball with the NFL and saying they need to be a little lenient on Watson, just like they're lenient on the owners and their punishment, because the bylaws of the league basically state that the owners are to be held at a higher standard, and those punishments that those owners got needs to be right in line with what Watson gets, or they're going to court about it, and they're going to bring down the roof on those owners, which they got a solid case. They got a solid case because they did give the owners slaps on the wrist. So why are you going to come at the players even harder? So that's your summary. That's your summary. There are plenty of massage job openings in Cleveland. You got to do something. Had Pastor TD life coach. Hey, I'm here for it. I am here for it. Oh man. We already talked about the Watson stuff. All you gotta do is go to the beginning of the stream, and then when we get into all of this other stuff, you just cut it off if you don't want to hear it. I'm actually just sitting here chilling with y'all. Y'all don't understand. I view y'all as my family. Y'all are. I mean, look at how many hours I spend with y'all every week. Look at how many hours I spend. I spend more hours with some of y'all than you do your family. So we family. We family. So we just sometimes we're gonna talk about the Dolphins. Sometimes we just gonna kick it. Sometimes we're gonna kick it. Will Tyndall start at linebacker this season, in your opinion? I hope so at some point. Something's telling me no. He's gonna get a lot of reps though, but be inserted in packages. Something's telling me no early on because the nucleus of this defense. But depending on how good he is on this level, he could definitely cement his job by the end of the season. That's what I think. Now we are on not a financial advisor, but I don't know what he's saying. Oh, okay, TD. So you saying it was a horrible decision to try to get Watson? Got it. I don't know why you got that out of it. Once again, I maintain the fact that anybody who traded for Watson, it was not about this year. It was about having your franchise quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years. What people need to understand, sometimes the organization has to do that. Sacrifice a year to know that you're getting somebody for the future. You never know. That could be the same thing with Sean Payton. Sacrificing this year just so that you can feel more confident guaranteeing that you'll get him next year. So whoever had gotten Watson, I said this before the Browns traded for him. I told everybody, stop caring about the suspension. It ain't going to be more than a year. So even if it's a full season, it's not about this year. It's about having your franchise quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years after this year. We've been 20 years trying to find one, and y'all worried about a year? Dolphin fans should have been happy to get him if he got suspended 5 years, as far as I care. Man. T-Rit said Amazon just monopolized the world. They can't create jobs. They shut down smaller businesses. Yeah, they did. It was genius, though. It was genius. They did monopolize. They made it harder for all the small businesses. But to a degree, they also, if you were a small business and you leveraged it smart and got into e-commerce, Amazon became your friend because you just sell on their platform. So they monopolized as the central station. They're the central station monopoly. So if you're wise, you want to put your product on their platform. But it's still a monopoly. They got it on lock now because everybody basically, you got to go through them or try the rigors of standing alone. Watson only 26 and still got time to grow. Yeah. Yep. So drop shippers now. Yeah. But you have to be able to adjust. I just got an update on suspension coming for Watson. The NFL is trying to argue that QB should get a significant ban. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's an argument right now. Because why would the NFL need to argue with somebody? Just come out and give them the significant ban. But they're arguing with the NFLPA because the NFLPA is threatening to go to war over it because y'all don't keep the same energy with the owners. This is somebody who didn't get convicted nor charged. You got to keep the same energy you keep the owner. I'm not talking about these players that were charged. Even if they were found innocent, they were charged. He wasn't charged. And the NFLPA is basically saying, y'all got to keep the same energy you keep with the owners. Because in the bylaws, it says the owners are to be held to a higher standard. But they get slaps on the wrist. So, and the NFLPA basically told them, we'll negotiate with you. We feel it should be between 6 to 8 games, and you should work with them. NFL wants to do more, obviously. I honestly think they just need to let them sit for the whole season. Suspend him for a year. You know, it ain't a big deal. I mean, honestly, it shouldn't hurt Watson either. Suspend him for the year. He's making $1 million this year. Suspend him. Suspend him for the year. But I also understand the NFLPA's case. I mean, the NFL's case and the NFLPA, because it's time to hold these owners accountable too. You can't have your cake and eat it too. So this is more about holding the owners accountable and not really Watson, but they're using Watson's situation. So I say just come out. That way everybody wins. And the truth is, under the table, Watson's still winning. His contract allowed him to win. Just come out and say we've decided to suspend Deshaun Watson for a year. Browns go through their season, then they prepare for the next year. Now they ain't got to spend the 41. Sit down. Get down from there. Now they ain't got to spend the $41 million that they have. They get to carry it over, and they get Baker off of their books, whatever million that is. The Browns are going to next season with a already ready. No, sir. You got to get out of here because yesterday you kicked the cord out. Bye-bye. It's in your room, up on your shelf, all your crayons and stuff. Put this in the sink. Thank you. But yeah, man, it's a win-win for everybody. Watson was so happy about chilling last year, getting paid. Suspended for a year. And this year, you know, he only making $1 million. And all right, bye-bye. No, sir, not right now. Bye-bye. Nope. Thank you. Yeah, man. But I understand where the NFLPA is coming from. But it ain't a big deal. Suspend them. Suspend them, you know. He's still gonna get paid. He gonna be on the beach chilling, watching football. I mean, people need to understand whatever suspension comes for Watson, anything a year or less, it ain't bothering him. It ain't bothering him. So this ain't about Watson with the NFLPA, to be honest. They just sticking up for him only because they want to hold the owners accountable. I don't think Watson really cares. Of course he wants to play football, but that's why they did his contract the way they did it. He's going to be straight regardless. The man got $250 million guaranteed. If you really think about it, even if the civil case says you owe all these women $30 million, $25 million, whatever, he going to write that check and send it. And he's still going to have $225 million guaranteed coming to him. Easy. And then I don't think that the Browns can do anything from a discipline standpoint of trying to recoup money, even if they wanted to try to get off the situation, because he wasn't charged. He did nothing criminally wrong. Cleveland cares more than Watson. Of course they do. They want him on the field. They want him on the field. Cleveland. TD, don't you find it ironic that the top wealthy people tend to be Democrats? Musk, Bezos, Buffett, and Mark Cuban. I don't know. Well, no, I don't actually agree with that. Crypto. Both party has some of the top wealthy people. And first of all, you have to understand industries. They're only basically how they make their money is in large part what political party they represent, because it's in their best interest. The policies are, most of these people with money like this, they vote, they affiliate with what's best for the interest of the business that they're in. Typically, it's rare you find the opposite, and those people are stand-up people to me. So whether it's Democrat or Republican, the interest that serves them making the most profits tend to be what they, you know, if it's service, if it's something in the service industry where you need to maintain a good level of reputation and all this and that, and, you know, which is most businesses, then you would tend to be the latter. If you're strictly business and it's profits and you're not out there in the public as an image, but your product is being sold to other companies that make products of service, you don't care that much. You're more in the other side. So it just depends on what side that is more beneficial for how you make your money. He shouldn't even be suspended. He technically already was last year. Yeah, I mean, it's different ways of looking at it. I see what you're saying, but some people want even more. 250 million. You can buy a lot of little special towels for his massages. I just don't get it. From my understanding, his girl is just beautiful. So I don't understand, but to each his own. It is what it is. Everybody have their own way they want to get down. So who am I to judge his? Baker is a rental now. I don't think Baker wants to play for him. I think Baker is refusing to play if he has to. Baker can demand a trade, but it's a matter of who's going to trade for him. Because some teams are interested, but they want Cleveland to still have to pay most of the salary, just like we did with Tannehill. We paid most of that salary. That's what was so insulting about the deal with Tennessee. They got a quarterback for free, and we paid for most of his salary. It's crazy. TD, I'm thinking we're not worried about the right side of the O-line because we got great fullbacks to help that side. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Or when a fullback is on the field, is that a obvious run sell for us? Hopefully we disguise that too. And when we got a fullback on the field, we still play action and making plays out of it. That's true because most oil tycoons are Republicans. TDPHINSTALK, you like your OnlyFans time. Watson likes his only hands time. To each his own. I think the Browns should have kept Case Keenum. Baker, listen, yeah, the Browns did exactly what they needed to do. They got a franchise quarterback. This situation ain't going to last forever. It's that simple. They got their franchise quarterback. Okay, go through scrutiny for a year, but after a year, it don't matter the scrutiny. He gets to put his imprint on the game on the field. You can still not like him. You can still hate him, but he gets to be on the field putting his imprint, winning games. They got their franchise quarterback. That's all they wanted. They built the team with a Baker Mayfield. And they realized, hey, you got to get to the upper echelon of quarterbacks to really win it in this league. So let's just go do it. We'll take our chances. The Browns, what they're not telling you is what they can't tell you. They don't care nothing about no civil suit. That's Deshaun business. But when we come out in front of the media, well, you know, we're trying to keep they're just trying to play politics so people don't get mad that they don't care. And you know what? I'm just going to say it. Most people don't care. And let's be honest. Most people don't care. They don't care like you think they do. There weren't no criminal charges. Shouldn't have did what he asked. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that you should look at it that way. Most people don't care. Oh, he ain't do nothing criminally wrong? No charges? Oh, okay. Well, when he asked you, you should have walked out. That's your business. You don't think these 32 owners don't think like that? These are billionaires. Oh, he asked and they did it? Oh, they felt some type of way. Next. That's how they truly feel deep down inside. Now, when they get in front of that camera, they'll tell you to make it seem another way. Half of y'all dudes watching this stream right now don't care as much as you put off to. I'm just keeping it 1,000. I don't care. Let's call it what it is. If he did something forceful and wrong, then of course a lot of people care. But based off of what came out, oh, he didn't force nobody to do nothing, no criminal charges. Next. Live in this fantasy world all you want, sitting here trying to make it seem like people care. I'm telling y'all now, never mind. Y'all know what time it is. I mean, where my real people at? Can we keep it real for a moment? Can we please keep it real for a moment? Even if that's not your sentiment, let's look at the big picture in most people. You think they truly care? Let me go a step further. This is what people need to realize. The NFL won't do it, but they can do it. NFL could come out right now in a press conference. Listen, we've decided not to suspend Deshaun Watson. There were no criminal charges, which to us means that he didn't force anybody to do anything. At the end of the day, we can't hold him accountable for anything that was not proven to be true. And at the end of the day, there's also responsibility on the other end. If he asks you to do something, it's your responsibility not to. We don't care. Bye. And walk off from the podium. You think the ratings going to really go down? You think the ratings really going to go down like that? Talk to me, somebody. Talk to me, somebody. You think the ratings really going to go down? Are you going to be watching September 11th if that happened? Tua and Waddle and Tyreek? Come tell me you ain't right now. But the NFL ain't going to do that. They ain't going to do that. And you trust me, a lot of them wish that they could just come out and do that. They don't care like you think they do. Y'all right here listening to most of these people that's trying to put on an act to keep a high moral compass and ground. Well, I think that this is wrong by the NFL and they should blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're just making content. You're just making content. I mean, the NFL done got to a point that it's almost impossible to truly hurt the shield at this point. I just call it what it is. The NFL has become an organization that could very well be untouchable, and the only thing at this point that could touch it is if the players walk out for whatever reason. That's why other countries be like, America got their football. They so obsessed with football. That's all people got to look forward to. Man, football, all these stresses and depression and all of this. Football brings people joy. It's the one thing they can look forward to. It's the most unified thing we have in it. It's one of the only unified things we have left in the country. We argue and debate about everything. I mean, we debate about football too, but at least it's fun. But y'all, they don't want to have this conversation. They don't want to have this conversation. NFL tired of cancel culture anyway. They sick of the cancel culture anyway. No matter they suspend him or what, at the end of the day, it's all a formality. They don't care. They don't care. Somebody said they care about the patriotism, but they don't care about women. Hey, that couldn't be more wrong too. They don't care about nothing. They only tell you they care if they think it's going to hurt the bottom dollar. If they can erase it and not deal with it, they won't deal with it. Do y'all understand that the government gave the NFL money for the national anthem at the beginning of games? That's why the whole controversy was there. That's why the president felt that nobody should be doing that, because they paid the NFL. It was advertisement. Some of y'all may not even know that. The government, the United States government, pays the NFL to play the national anthem before games. Did you know? Hold on. Did y'all know that? Yes or no in the comment section. Let me know if you knew that in the comment section. Didn't know that. Nope. I knew that, TD. It's paid patriotism. Yeah. Some people don't know that. So when you saw the kneeling, which I understood the reason for it, that's why the president was like, that shouldn't be happening. We paying for that. And I'm not saying the president was right either for his take. I'm not saying either way. But the NFL don't care about none of that mess. These are billionaires. They don't care. They don't care. We want to sit out here and make it seem like they do, and this is what should happen. They should do this. They should do that. NFL deep down, oh, no criminal charges. So he didn't do nothing illegal. He's innocent until proven guilty. That's what the law says. So we supposed to care about civil? No, they don't care about the civil. That's why they're trying to determine the punishment now. And the civil situation won't be resolved. Maybe it may not even be resolved until later in the year or next year. So that shows you they don't care about the civil. They don't care about the outcome of the civil. The only thing the NFL cared about is if you are charged, we can put you on the NFL exempt list to see if you were actually guilty or not. And he was never charged, and you had 2 grand juries convene and say, we're not bringing charges. All right. NFL's done. They're done with their investigation. They don't have anything else to deal with. That's why it killed me. Oh, my God, a 24th person came out. Okay. And they made it seem like it was, oh, my gosh, breaking news. This one person is the volcano blower. Like, oh my gosh, this is it, y'all. This is the one. Like, I didn't get it. But it told me there's a lot of fake outrage. People just trying to be in that, just to be in that. It's over. As soon as that grand jury said that we're not bringing charges, it was over. Now it's a personal matter in civil court. Do you have to pay or not? That's his business now. It ain't no business of the NFL anymore. It's that simple. But to think that the NFL cares, y'all better stop. NFL knows good and well. They could walk out on that podium and say 0-game suspension. Them ratings ain't going down on September 11th. Matter of fact, it might be the highest ratings of all time. It might be the highest ratings of all time this year. All these moves that was made, all this shifting, might be the highest ratings of all time. I think it's actually pure genius. All them teams in the NFC that wouldn't have had a chance now has a chance because it's a weak conference. All the firepower in the AFC, now it's a bloodbath. They probably going to have the highest ratings they ever had this year, no matter what decision they make with Watson. But the NFL still will take the high road, and they still will make sure that they levy some type of punishment because they still never want this type of stuff to get out of hand. And I say suspend the man for a year. Nobody loses. Suspend the man for a year. Nobody loses. Watson doesn't lose. The Browns, they should be just fine with it. They built the contract to prepare for it. The NFL gets a good look. The only people that's in the way of that happening right now, in my opinion, is the NFLPA, because they got a personal gripe against the owners, which is their job to have. You ain't finna suspend him more than 8 or we going to court. Because y'all take it easy on these owners. So that's the dilemma right now. So we'll see what happens. I can care less. I hope he do get a year. I want that W versus the Browns. And boy, I'll break everything in my room if we lose to him and that man ain't on the field. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Man, at most it should be 6 games. He was technically already suspended for 1 year. Yeah, like I said, I get it. NFC has it easy. Yeah, I'm telling you, the ratings going to go up because teams feel like got hope now in the NFC. Your typical team feel like they could scoot in for a wild card now because it's so weak over there. And now the AFC is a bloodbath and everybody going to be paying attention in the AFC. Everybody. NFL can do whatever they want, only if beneficial to them. Suspend Watson for a year or let him play. Well, they can't do whatever they want. That's why you got an NFLPA. And I'm telling you, the reason why they're negotiating right now, because y'all think it takes this long to come down with a suspension. Do y'all really think it takes this long? They could have been 2 weeks ago. We've decided to suspend Deshaun Watson for a year, whatever it is. You think it take this long? So that report that came out yesterday, I totally believe it. It's more of a negotiation between the NFLPA of his punishment. They're negotiating right now. And you think the NFL has a leg to stand on? They don't want a lawsuit that exposes what these owners really have been accused of. You notice how they unsealed all them records and not let all that information get out there about the whole Washington situation. But the NFLPA got a lot of that information. And they threatening to expose them. So they kicking back. They got a little leverage, and they're going to use it every chance they get now. That's why the NFL treading lightly. And maybe they need to meet in the middle and make it 12 games. At least let our game be right past it. Make it 12 games. And if that's the case, you should just sit them down a whole year unless you're still competitive. Because here's the issue the NFL don't want either. If they suspend him and the NFL PA goes to court over it, while the court process is happening, Watson gets to play until it's resolved. And that's even more of a headache for the NFL. He'll be on the field actually week 1 now until it gets resolved if they take it to court. Because even in the rules, while there's a dispute like that, and if it's in the legal system, everything stays normal until it's resolved. He would actually be able to play until it's resolved. And maybe that'll be good to hurt some of them early teams that we're going against. And then he gets suspended in the middle of the season for the rest of the season. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sure we get that dub. We'll see. Or don't suspend him and only suspend him against the Dolphins. Yeah, I'll be with that too. It is what it is. It is what it is. The NFL know that Deshaun playing gives them ratings. That too. And let me tell you something. The Thursday night game, they have a primetime game with the Browns, but right now there's no date and time. It's listed as to be determined. That's going to be a primetime game. They just got to figure out what channel they're going to, utilize, because they have those flex games now where they can put it on, for everybody to see. They're going to want to utilize all of that. He be on the field until it's solved. Different situation, but I hope not. We got to beat the Browns. I know Watson ain't going to be on the field week 1, TD. What you smoking, homie? You guys are hilarious. No, I don't think he will either, because I think they're going to give a suspension that they all agree with, and he won't be on the field. But what I am telling you is the NFLPA is basically saying if it's outrageous, we're taking it to court. And league rules, if it's in the legal system, he gets to play until it's resolved. So I'm not smoking anything. I'm just going off of the facts. G Money said, you didn't get my other super chat. I thought I did. Let me go up and see if I can see it. He said, the Browns are just happy to have Watson. The beat writer said they have no intentions to void his contract or to contact Texans about renegotiations. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to tell these people. Billionaires don't become one by caring. Exactly. But yeah, the Browns don't care. If they suspend you for a year, we know we got our franchise quarterback for the next 15 years. They knew what they were getting themselves into. They just trying to act like they scared and they care. Think about it. It's like, I know I ain't supposed to do this, but deep down inside, I can care less. But if people knew that I can care less, they'd kill me. So let me do it. And now, we're just trying to figure it out. This is a tough situation for everyone. We're just trying to let the system play itself out. That's all they're doing. They playing politics right now, trying to show that they care, but they don't care, man. People like, oh, the Browns gotta be the Browns. People making it seem like, I bet the Browns wish they didn't do it now. Are you kidding me? People do anything to make their narrative stick. The Browns are secretly rejoicing. They sitting there like, what's the difference of having 1 year with Baker? Suspend him a year. You think we care? We'll just look at it as we got a year with Baker. We stuck on the contract. People need to start being realists, man. Be realists. Tell the truth. You know what time it is. People's true human nature ain't always the most up. It just is what it is. It is what it is. Most of us care about things we don't care about because it looks good to care about it. I'm just keeping it 1,000. I ain't gonna never shy from keeping it real. Most people care about things they don't care about only for the sake of looking like they care about it because it looks like it's the right thing to do, especially in a position they're in. You didn't get my other super chat, but if Watson don't play, y'all still wouldn't win. Y'all can't stop the run. We'll beat him without Watson, man. You'll see. You'll see, G-Money. We'll beat him without Watson. We can beat him without. Like I said, I'll brick everything in my room. We don't. Oh, don't even play with me like that. We'll beat them. Yeah, Tyreek isn't a good dude, but Tua fans love him. Thank you. Where's the outrage with Tyreek Hill? And this is where, keeping it real again, the man literally got in trouble for quote unquote, I don't know if it's quote unquote, I got to look at the details again, but assaulting his pregnant wife and beating his child. Where's the outrage? Where's the same people keeping the energy about Watson? Some people would say what Tyreek did is way worse than Watson because at least Watson asked. Even if it was predatory and preying on people, at least he asked and gave people choices. Even if it was an uncomfortable choice that they felt they had to make and they didn't want to, some people would say that's even worse. At least he gave people a choice. But where's that outrage? Breaking the child's arm. Where's that outrage? Where? No, ain't no outrage about that. That's why the hypocrisy, especially in our community, is so freaking ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. And it's all agenda driven. And they call me the agenda man. It's so agenda driven. I bet you right now, if Tua had any allegations like this, it'd be a whole nother tune. Well, they had a choice. Then I bet you I'll be hearing all that crazy stuff. Man, it's ridiculous, man. Selective outrage is bigger than football, TD. Yeah, I agree. But some people, that's what they're doing. They selectively outraging. I don't outrage over anything, though. I do give my opinion, which may be chastising or whatever. This person, I don't think this is good look or whatever. But I don't outrage or I don't demonize people because he who without sin, man. We all fall short. A lot of people have been in situations like I'd have never thought that I would ever be in this position. Don't think that you're so high and mighty that you'll never be in a situation. And it ain't got to be 24 women situation, but any situation. Don't ever think you so high and mighty. That's the most arrogant thing anybody could do, to think that you're so high and mighty that you could never be in a situation. I ain't saying this one, but a situation that you never thought you'd be in. Because 90% of the time, every situation, major situation people in, at some point they're like, I never thought that I could be in this point in my life. I never thought I could be here. How did I get to this point? Whether it's their fault or not. Your outrage over Tua is pretty extreme, LOL. I'm not outraged over Tua. I'm just telling you what it is. I don't believe he's a franchise quarterback, and hopefully he proved me wrong this year. I need him to. It's not outrage. It's pretty calm to me. I was outraged at us having an opportunity to get a franchise quarterback and passing on it. It had nothing to do with Tua. It had something to do with getting a franchise quarterback and us passing on it. people was jumping up for joy about Hill, but yet they call Watson the R words idiots. Yeah, that's where people were losing me. Like none of the allegations even alleged the R word, but they were calling him an R word. And we don't say the R word because the R algorithm, if it picks it up, it'll basically mess with the channel. But yes, you're right. They were calling this man that, and none of the allegations even suggested that. Do you know that none of these women said that he R'd them? That's not even one of the allegations. That's the crazy part. But people were out here calling him that. It was an agenda, and it was just because that man threatened Tua Tagovailoa's job. It's that plain and simple. That plain and simple. A lot of people were so mad when no charges was brought. That don't mean he innocent. It don't mean he guilty either, and it never did. It never did. And in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty. So therefore, technically, it means he innocent. In this country, he is considered an innocent man. In the eyes of criminal law. Nah, it was the national media that demonized him. Nah, Shag Finn, don't do that. You don't do that. Them Tuaneers, boy, they held rallies. They held parties on squares and streams and everything, demonizing this man. Don't say it wouldn't. No, it was them Tuaneers too. Killing Watson, trying to defame him by all means necessary, just so he didn't end up in Miami. Because it would not look good for our savior, number one, to be replaced. He was cleared by NFL Steve Rose. Look it up. I don't know what y'all talking about. He never even got suspended. I don't know who y'all talk about. Which player y'all talk about or whatever. ABAB, Tyreek beat the F out of his pregnant girlfriend and choked her. He was cleared because she decided to drop it since he had his kid in her. Listen, man. It doesn't matter. We don't have to prove whether or not Tyreek did something or not. At the very minimum, it was alleged. So why Watson can't get that same love that Tyreek getting right now? It don't matter if he did it or not. And many know what happened in that situation. But it don't matter. Even if we take the whole route of you can't prove he did that, well, dang, then let's keep it fair. Then let's give Watson that. That's the point that's being made. Not whether or not it's true or not. And we know what happened in the Tyreek situation. But I'll leave that alone. The hypocrisy is just on a whole new level. It's how the media portrays it. Yeah. That's one thing that we as a society have to stop. We have to stop thinking we know how other person is thinking, which is true too. That's true too. But we all guilty of that sometimes. It all comes in our assumptions. We assume based off of common knowledge and common sense. But common sense ain't common at all. So you're right about that. I ain't perfect in that area myself, But that makes him a bad dude. Still, we root for players, not people. They are not role models. Yeah, I get it. It was allegedly Hill's situation with his wife and Watson's situation with these women. Yeah, it's all allegedly because nothing has been proven. I mean, we ain't got to stop there. Look at what Xavier Howard went through a few years back. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. He actually went to jail. They actually took him. Don't forget that either. Nobody's perfect, man. That's why you can't demonize people. But don't pick and choose who's worthy of it and who's not. Just because they play for you or they don't. Did I see anybody lose any sleep over cheering for Xavier Howard the last 2 years in his interceptions? Nope. Begging for him to be on the field, begging for him to just love him. Oh, he gonna make the pro. Just loving all on him. Look what he went through. Look what he went through. And I'm telling y'all, these are people who actually hurt somebody else, like physically put their hands on them. And Washington just asked for some favors. I'm not trying to make light of it, but hey, I just gave Washington asked for some favors and got them. Like, I mean, like I said, I ain't see nothing that was like, oh, he held me down and had his way. I ain't seen none of that. That's all I'm saying, man. Man, they just mad he black and got $230 million guaranteed. I can't put it on that because if that was the case, they would have been all over X and Tyreek. I mean, they were on Tyreek, but it show went away quick. They got some Super Bowls, all that went away quick. He was paying for favors. Ha. DDG. That's another part of the case. He wasn't paying for favors. That's the part that's why he never got charged too. Because he wasn't going to get charged for assault or nothing like that. They had no evidence nor was accused of it. What it would have been a crime had he been paying for those favors. If he was paying more, that's why all those warrants for his Cash App and stuff, he was still sending them the exact amount he had always sent them just for the job. That's what the lawyer was arguing. He never paid a penny more for their services. He just asked and said, I liked you, and they did what they did, and he paid them their normal money, and it was over. He never paid them extra money. That's the crazy part about it all. He never paid him extra money. He never gave him extra money for that type of favor. You want an extra 500, an extra 1,000? It constantly was always between the 100 and 300 he always paid. It's another fact of the case of why his lawyer was out there saying it's not illegal what he did. He never paid any extra money. That's not illegal. And then they tried to twist that in the media. His representative said it's not illegal to get favors. It's only illegal if you're paying for it. You can pull up to one of these red lights and be like, I like you. Let's go have some fun. You can go have fun, but did you pay for it? And for me, it's all disgusting regardless. But who am I to judge someone else's disgust? People do things that's disgusting to me, and I may do things that's disgusting to them. But it's all disgusting to me regardless. It's all disgusting to me. All the stuff that was done and this and that, and like, hey, to each his own. To each his own. To each his own. But that was one of the major issues in the case to why they had no charges. Because they were like, we already know there was no assault that took place. So now, remember, the feds were involved too. The feds had an investigation and the local. And they went in and they basically said, we're going to get a warrant for all your financial records. Because they were just trying to prove that he paid more than normal for extra favors. And he never did. Deshaun Watson is basically making it seem like every single one of these was mutual. I like them. They like me. I said, what's up? They said, what's up? And we were what's upping. And they said, hey, let's what's up again at some point. And we did, multiple of us. And I'm living my life and I'm having fun. That's what Deshaun, that's basically what he's saying went down. And now all of a sudden, a lot of them trying to say, oh, I really didn't want to do it and I felt uncomfortable. And he's basically saying, that's not my responsibility. I did what was right. I asked. I mean, we did what we did. I never forced. That's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. And he never denied, well, she said that you asked her to do this on her and she did it. Yeah. I also asked them to do this. She did it. I asked to do that. You don't think that's extreme? It's what I like. She did it. So, man, when you really look at the facts of this situation, man, he's been actually agreeing with a lot of the things that they said was done, but it wasn't illegal. So somebody said pimp status. He didn't even have to pay for it. Listen, I don't get into all of that. All I'm saying is, for a person that lives their life that way, I could see where mentally they're like, I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm following the right course of action. I like you. I saw you on Instagram. You want to come give me a massage? And where the fine line is why didn't you kind of let known why you were bringing them in before they got there and you made an advancement, I guess. But that's where the argument is that required? So it goes deep, man. I only deal in facts. That's why from day one, I knew he would never get charged for it when I looked at all the facts of the police report. Thank you. You drew this for me? I love you. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, another one. I love you.
And I made, look at I made a square and a triangle and a circle. And I just made a fishing pole. And
fishing pole?
Yeah, and this is look like it looks like a fish.
A fish? Give me a hug, man. I love you so much. Thank you. You gonna help Cammy make me one too, okay?
I'll give him paper.
Yeah, get him some paper and tell him to make me one. If Watson paid, I don't think he's going to court now. Yeah, but remember, Watson and his lawyer just came out recently and said, we never wanted to settle. The only reason we were going to settle is because Watson wanted to come to Miami. And Ross required him to go ahead and settle. And he was about to settle, but Ross also required an NDA from all of them. And two or four women, I forgot the number, didn't want to sign the NDA. And that's what derailed everything. And Ross wanted an NDA from all of them. Because Ross didn't want to deal with all the graphic details that are coming out now. Ross was ready. Ross didn't care. He was just like the Browns. I don't care. I just don't want to deal with all the graphic details coming out. So we'll trade for you. And Ross even said, I'll take my chances with the criminal case because they had already done their research. You don't think Ross's legal team said they don't have a case? Ross's legal team had already told him. Ross' legal team already told him they don't have a strong case against him. I don't think he's going to be charged of a crime. That's why Stephen Ross said, I'll take my chances on the criminal, but settle all them civil suits. Let's get that stuff behind us. But I need all of them to sign the NDA and you'll be a Dolphin. And Watson's lawyer just verified that's the only reason we were going to settle. We weren't going to settle. The only reason we were going to settle is because Watson wanted to get to Miami and he wanted to play for them. And this was the chance to do it. So therefore, four women didn't want to do the NDA. And now his lawyer's saying we never wanted to settle in the first place. We're taking this all away. We're going to court. We're going to let a jury hear everything that happened. My client has nothing to hide. He's going to talk about all the stuff that he did with him. But he didn't force anybody to do nothing beyond their will. And they had a choice to make. And that's what their argument is going into court. Nobody was forced to do anything. They had a choice to make. Why is my client liable for that? And they're going to let a jury decide whether these women deserve any compensation from a civil standpoint. And the women's lawyers, they're doing a good job making him look like the ultimate bad creep in the public opinion. That's what they're supposed to do. If I was on that side of the courtroom, I'd be making Watson look like the biggest scum of the earth there is, because you have to. You win the public opinion, there's a greater chance of winning the case. Oh, I love you. You made this for me?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I have. It's did the words.
Carter wrote the words?
Yeah.
But you drew the heart?
No, colored it.
Wow, but you colored it.
No, colored it.
Did you? Then what you do? You didn't do nothing. You didn't bring me nothing.
Yeah, we did.
We did it. Okay, I'll give y'all teamwork, okay?
Teamwork. Can you draw something for me and Cammy?
What?
Can you draw something for
What?
me and Cammy?
What?
Can you draw something for me and Cammy?
I'm gonna draw something for you all tonight, okay?
And what about Mommy?
We'll draw something for Mommy too. We'll tell her how much we love her, okay?
I want to get Mommy some 5 stars.
Huh?
I want to get Mommy some 5 stars.
5 stars. What's that?
That is...
All right, I need you to talk to people.
Hey, what are you doing today?
Ooh, they say that they're having fun. What are you doing today?
Good.
Good?
Yes.
Are you Sonic?
Yes.
You're Sonic? I'm faster than Sonic.
No.
I'm faster than Sonic.
No, I'm faster, but you don't do something so good.
You slow. You slow. You slow. You the slow. You the slow. You slow.
I'm the fast.
Ooh, Carter, let me tell you a secret. Ah, I got you. Hey, go. Nope. Keep those out of here. And no writing on the walls, okay?
Okay.
Be careful.
I'll draw something for Mommy and Cammy.
Yeah, draw something for Mommy too, okay? Let's show Mommy some love. I can't be our favorite all the time. Happy early Father's Day, TD. Thank you, brother. Happy early Father's Day to you as well, if it applies. TD, how you feel about Mike Florio reporting about Sean Payton and Brady? Do what you can to make this team better, man. I like it. You know, they were trying to go get a coach who can get the job done and get a quarterback who can lead the way. And hopefully Mike McDaniel ends up being a coach that can get the job done, and hopefully Tua becomes a quarterback who can lead the way. So one of them is a hope, and one of them was a, hey, we got them dudes. So we just got to see how it plays out. At the end of the day, it's water under the bridge. It ain't a big deal anymore. What could have been will always exist. What could have been will always exist. TD, what's the stat line that Tua needs for you to see, to believe he's the franchise QB for the Dolphins? TDs, interceptions, QBR, passer rating, etc. Tread lightly. Tua nears are watching. We already did this. It's starting to fade, by the way. Let me get it closer. I was playing around with y'all one night and I wrote that 4,200 yards, 68 plus completion percentage, top 12 in QBR, 34 plus touchdowns, 10 or less interceptions. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be less as long as he's impacting the game. It could be like 10% less as long as he's impacting the game massively. With the eye test. Or it could be greater than this it needs to be greater if he's not impacting the game much and it's just a result of a lot of, 80-yard jet sweeps and all of that. You know what I mean? So these aren't in stone, these stats. But these stats should indicate that he's a competent quarterback that you can build around for the future. It should, but the eye test is going to be the real test. The eye test will be the real test. I agree, TD. Cool. Yeah, Big Ben to it too. Kudak, why? Well, game started is the stat line I'm worried about. DDG, man, you just made a point that can't be rivaled. Game started is a stat that we need to be worried about. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If Tua misses more than 3 games this year, you got to be done with this mess. I don't care if we still make the playoffs. You got to be done with this mess, man. You can't continue to have a guy who's going to constantly miss games, man. This is the year he need to play 16 games. He got to play 16 games. Also, is his arm going to maintain 16 games? That's something y'all need to think about as well. Me and EM used to talk to each other privately about this. His rookie year. He was throwing that rock, throwing that rock, throwing that rock. In them last 2 weeks, you could see his arm started to faint. So we said at the end of his rookie year, we got to look out for that next year. He got hurt right away, so we forgot about it. But then that Tennessee game and the game after, we were like, oh, it's a little faint, man. It's overshadowed, it's overthrowing, underthrowing. It just don't look great in them last few games. So, and he's never had more than 12 games throwing the ball. So I also got to sit back and see, can he, like, that's something nobody's talking about because he's never been in a position to prove it. Can his arm even withstand 17 games? Nobody's thought about that or talked about that. Nobody's talking about that. Quarterbacks always talk about how their arm is worn at a certain point. So we'll see. I just hope we do get 17 games. A true evaluation of a full season, it's necessary. TD, what happened with Byron Contact? Just jumped in, man. They restructured it back in March. In the details, you can go on SpoTrack and see it now. They gave this man almost like, I forgot what the number was. It was a whole bunch of millions of dollars in restructure bonus. So they converted it, basically making the $6 million cap hit this year instead of 19. So he's the reason why we even have all that cap space. Well, all that is relative. I mean, he's the reason why we have the $16.5 million in cap space right now because of his restructure. He freed up almost $11 million this year for the team. So that's just a short version. That's because idiotic Flores thought it was a good idea to have a young QB throw the ball 30 times a game. I get it, but there's going to be games where you have to. Don't forget that. There's going to be games where you have to throw the ball 30 times a game. I mean, that's not sit here and act like Herbert and Burrow and them wouldn't throwing the ball about 30 times a game, plus maybe more than that. So, I mean, that don't really work. Didn't Tua throw like 45 times against the Titans? I think it was like 47 or 49 to be exact. But tell me what quarterback doesn't have 45 plus attempts in a game in a season. I'm pretty confident almost every quarterback in the NFL has at least 2 games in a season where they throw more than 45 times in a game. Cammy, come here. Come here, please. Come here. This is why Daddy tries to keep you out of his office sometimes. Because the printer didn't do anything to you. And you just literally ripped the paper dispenser holder out. And I think I can fix it, but you can't break things, okay? Okay?
Okay, but
you got to be careful. You can't break the printer, okay? No, this ain't no fun and game time, okay?
Okay.
You got to take care of the stuff and protect it, okay?
I want to guard down. I just want to quit somewhere.
I know, but listen to me. Listen to me. When you skip your reading time, where's mommy?
Mom's in his office.
See, what happens is when you have your reading time and you skip it because mommy's not looking, you're going to get in trouble when mommy asks you what the book is about.
Yes.
So go find a book, okay?
Okay.
So you can tell mommy what it's about, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I want to draw something for
But you guys were drawing for the last hour. And now I heard whenever you were told to go ahead and it's book time. So go ahead, okay?
Okay. But don't look at it.
Yes, push it in. I'll fix it. It's okay. Why are you getting more paper? It's not drawing time. It's book time. Carter, you and Cammy, make sure you go get a book and read your book, okay? We're not going back and forth. Bye-bye. No negotiations. Lamar said he's trying to stay a Raven. Maybe. They better hope so. Let me see. It ain't 5 yet. So 4 more. Man, we've been 3 hours. How many games did Joe Burrow play in his rookie season? What? I don't remember. Let me look it up. I don't remember. Give me 1 second. I think it was like 8 games or something. Ten games. Joe Burrow played. Let me close this down. Joe Burrow played 10 games, started all 10 of them his rookie season. Yep. They were 2-7 in a tie, which is crazy. In 10 games, he put up 2,600 yards. That's 269 a game. I got to do the math on that. 269 a game times 6 plus 2688. Jesus. Joe Burrow was on pace for throwing for 4,300 yards his rookie season. He was on pace for throwing for 4,300 yards his rookie season. And he was on pace for about 21 touchdowns and about 8 interceptions. 21 and 8 is about what he was on pace for. Talk about a rookie season. It's a doggone good rookie season. 4,300 yards pace, 22-ish touchdowns and 7 or 8 interceptions. That's what he was on pace for. And he just exploded in year 2. And he missed the game in year 2. Don't forget that. He only played 16. He didn't play 17. And he put up 4,600 yards, which means he was on pace for 4,900 yards. He had 34 touchdowns, which means he was on pace for 36 and a half touchdowns. And he had 14 picks, which means he was on pace for 15 picks. Jeez. You can't make these stats up. These are big boy stats in the first 2 seasons. Forget the second season where he balled out. Look at the rookie year. He was on pace for 4,300 yards, 21 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, 3-to-1 touchdown INT ratio. Man. Let's see. Joe Burrow's attempts his rookie season. Remember, we got mad that Tua had to throw 40-something times versus the Titans. And that was the only game he threw 40-something times, right? One game. Now watch this. Joe Burrow's attempts. I'm going to tell you all the ones over 40. One game, he has 61 attempts, 44 attempts, 47, and 40. He has 4 games. He averaged 40.4 attempts a game. He averaged 40 attempts a game. 40 attempts a game. Come on, man. Don't come with that argument of, Flores, how smart it was to have your young quarterback throwing the ball 45 times. That lets you know they believe in the quarterback, no question. They put the ball in his hand to win. They rely on him. Carry us. That's all that's saying. Whether you like it or not, that's all it's saying. Carry us. We're going to put it in your hands. Make it happen. I want to look at last year since he played 16 games. He only missed 1 game last year. I don't know which one it was. One time he threw for 46, he threw for 40, and he threw for 40. So he only had 3 games last year where he threw more. He had a whole bunch of 39s and 38s. 3 games of 38, 1 game of 39, 34, 34. $520 in 16 games. He basically averaged 33 attempts a game last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm assuming, no, that's week 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. So week 10 is missing. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is confusing to me. We say he plays 16 games, but it's a 17-game season. So the last week, he never played the last week. They must have clinched or something. He didn't play the very last week, must be. So yeah, Burrow didn't play the very last week. TD, you was right. Tua was literally the last option. He ended up QB1 by default. The organization has been openly trying to replace him, but they just want to blame Flo. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's been, but we're all hopeful that that narrative can change this year. If the narrative can change and Tua becomes the guy, then it was a great gamble. It was a great gamble. It was a great gamble if they could do that. So we'll see. Y'all don't understand. I'm actually rooting for the kid. I keep telling y'all, it's the most profitable this organization can be if he becomes our franchise quarterback. We need Tua to be the guy. But we're gambling on him. We're gambling on him. We need him to become the guy. So hopefully we hit the jackpot. Appreciate the donation, O'Scant. Flo deserves a lot of criticism for his inability to put together a staff. No one wanted to work with him. All right, so let me back this up. I gotta respond to that, Shag. I just think that is just so unfair to be saying stuff like that. So Flores does deserve criticism, and I'll give him the criticism he deserves in a second. But the reason you're saying because his inability to put together a staff, let me ask y'all a question. What kind of staff wants to come to an organization that's going to strip the whole roster? I want y'all to really think about this. Here you are in a first-year situation, right? Here I am a great offensive coordinator. Any great offensive coordinator probably has at least 2 offers to at least be an offensive coordinator somewhere. Why am I going to choose the Miami Dolphins that's about to get rid of every asset on offense possible and come there? What y'all have to understand is Brian Flores' rookie coaching year, he could only bring in what he could bring in. You're not going to bring in a good staff when you have a plan to purge the whole roster. I could see if the plan was to build the roster that exact year. Hey, I want to bring you in. We're going to go get some weapons. We're going to go do this. But that wasn't the goal. The goal wasn't to go get great players. The goal was to get rid of all of them to get draft capital. I'm not giving Flores an excuse. I'm telling you what actually happened. And AB, am I wrong? Did they have a plan to bring in talent his first coaching year, or was the plan to get rid of the talent? Put it in the comment section. Flores' first year as a coach was the plan to bring in talent or get rid of talent? Put it in the comment section. These coaches know the situation they coming into. And that's on their resume. That's on their resume. Most people don't want to deal with cleaning house. That's a bad knock on their resume. So here's where it gets even muddier. You got to go get a staff that ain't great. And then you want to replace them because you know they ain't great, but it's the best you could do because that's all you can get when you purging a roster. That's why people say, yeah, but too many people got hired and fired. Because everybody that was brought in were quote unquote placeholders anyway. They were going to try to upgrade the coaching staff a bit at a time every chance they got. So here you are, year one. It is a absolute trash over in Miami because they got rid of all the talent. But Coach Flores looked like he still tried to coach his behind off and got more wins than expected. And now they're about to go get a young quarterback. Everybody's hearing this tank for Tua narrative, but Tua also coming off a hip injury. What coaches want to come to Miami when it's still an unknown situation? Yeah, you're going to get a few weapons now, but your quarterback, he got hip injury. He may not even play his first year. What great coaches want to come right into that situation? I mean, nobody ever sat back and thought about it's not easy bringing a great coaching staff in. A lot of these guys got options. Some of them would rather stay where they are than come be a part of a mess and mess up their resume. They trying to move up. Coaching is maneuvering and making decisions and trying to, man, you want to go to a stable situation. You take an L on your resume. Nobody want to promote you if you were coaching the Dolphins O-line when they ain't got no talent on it. Year one and year two is the same mentality. After year one, you got rid of all the talent. Year two, you got to hire people before the draft. What do they see before the draft? You don't have a quarterback. You don't have the number 1 overall pick. You don't have an O-line. You got a defense that you're trying to build. But that ain't good enough. I'm supposed to come in on the offensive side of the ball and fix a whole bunch of what we don't know what we going to get in the draft and free agent. You know they hire coaches before the draft and free agency, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how successful this is going to be. I know they got 3 first-round picks, but those guys got to develop. They might struggle in year one. And should I come put my resume on that? Great coaches not going to do that. They're going to stay where they are and keep the same success because they were obviously successful where they are right now. Okay. They're successful right now because they built something or they got greatness where they are. They'd rather stay in that greatness another year to make their resume even better than go to a bad situation and lower their value. So it ain't easy. It's not. And when 2 years didn't work, who wants to come into year 3 with it? I don't know that you finna go get Waddle. I got to hire coaches in year 3 on offense. I don't know what you're going to do in the draft, but you ain't got it yet. What do you have? An offensive line with them picks from last year. Think about a coach that was like, I thought about going to Miami in Flores year 2, but I decided not to. Now here we are year 3, and they want an OC job somewhere else or promoted to OC, and they're like, I thank God I didn't go to Miami last year. The draft picks they got didn't work out. Tua didn't look great. Austin Jackson was bad. Noah can't even play. Thank God I didn't go to Miami. So you think they're going to all of a sudden come in year 3? It's not appealing. It's hard to get great coaches. Great coaches don't come to trash situations. Not unless you're promoting them to head coach. And that's why they did dual offensive coordinators in-house. It's hard to find somebody. So then Waddle ended up balling out, working out. Tua looked a little better, I guess, but you still see his shortcomings. The team you knew were dedicated to have an O-line in the offseason. They hired Mike McDaniel, and half of the staff we brought in came with him. Think about that. And he actually had to promote some of them. The only way is promoting some of them. And we better hope they work out. We automatically giving him credit that he found the staff. We don't know that. Would you give Wes Welker credit for Debo? Come on, man. So we don't even know what that's going to end up being. But you know how you draw great coaches? That's why they were trying to give Sean Payton $100 million. Because he going to bring in top coaching staff. That's why you bring Brady in. You can go get any coach you want with Sean Payton and Brady. The top is locked. Why you think they were trying to do it? They knew that they struggled to get coaches the last 3 years. They knew that they were trying to get coaches. Why you think they kept bringing all these advisors in to help? McKinsey and all of them. They did all of that extra advising stuff because they couldn't bring coaches. All them advisors they brought in, they also said they'll be assisting with Coach Flores and coaching and stuff. They brought all those advisors because they couldn't find good coaches. It wasn't just Flores not being able to find good coaches. The organization couldn't find great coaches. They always trying to bring in great coaches. Be 100, TD. Are you happy with our coaching staff right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about a 7.5. When Flores came in and we had he got his whole staff together, I was about a 6. So I'm a little bit more optimistic about this unit of coaches than I was with Flores, but I also understand Flores, nobody wanted to come to this situation. It don't make sense. If you were a coach, if you were the freaking if you were the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, would you come be the quarterback coach for the Miami Dolphins? No. The only way you come to the Miami Dolphins is if you make me the OC. It had to be a promotion. It had to be a promotion. And some of them guys already got jobs other places. That's how it works. You're not going to come to Miami. You'll stay in Tampa Bay before you come to Miami. You won't want no tarnish. You won't want your freaking resume to be tarnished. Yeah, when you were with Brady, you were great. But when you went to Miami, you weren't a good coach. That's what would end up happening last year. They rather get multiple years of greatness on their resume with Brady, having a top offense, and ultimately get a big shot at a head coaching job or a coordinator job. They will stay where they are because it's a favorable situation. They have to evaluate their own careers. Any one of y'all that was a coach would do the same thing. Any one of y'all that if you were coaches, you would do the exact same thing. So this whole Flores inability to get coaches, that's a bunch of crap because believe it or not, Greer and Flores, they're out there looking for coaches and vetting coaches. It's not just Flores, I promise y'all. They talk about the staff. They talk about what they need in the staff. They run guys by each other. Everybody think it's just a head coach saying, that's the guy I want, that's the guy I want. You can get your preference, that's the guy I want, but it's more collaborative than you think. Somebody said year 3, no excuse. There's every excuse in the world. I keep telling you, who wanted to come to this situation in year 3? Let me put it like this. For anybody on offense, what was appealing for them in year 3 to come to? Put it in the comment section if you disagree with me. What was appealing for a coach to come to in year 3? Tell me something that was appealing for the coach to come to. Flores year 3. What was appealing on the offense for a coach to come to? Please tell me. What could they look at on this offense and say, yeah, I want to come over there and work with those guys? I said the offense, not the defense, because our defense didn't have an issue. Obviously, we didn't need no different coaches on defense. They were on point. I'm talking about the offense, the offensive coach. We didn't have no issues in the defensive coaching room. The issues were all on offense. So tell me what? No, you can't use Waddle because you got to hire the coach before the draft. You got to hire the coach before the draft. You can't use Waddle. Somebody said Tua. My point exactly. My point exactly. Nobody will be able to answer that question for me. What would have been appealing for any offensive coach to say, I'm going to Miami? A good one now that's highly sought after in the NFL that plenty of people would want if they got a chance. You tell me what on this offense would make them say, I'm coming to Miami. My point exactly. So don't tell me year 3, no excuse. No. No. And you can't tell me Tua, because this year, when you had a lot on this offense, Daboll chose the Giants over us. When we had Waddle, Daboll chose the Giants over us. MF are struggling to answer that, TD, because you can't answer it. You can't answer it. Like I said, you can't put Waddle in it because you got to hire the coach before we even draft. Gesicki, what has that turned out? Because you got a tight end who still ain't putting up elite numbers because of the boy, y'all can get me started. Robert Hunt up and coming, but I'm coming because of a right guard. It's 5 guard. That same right guard was part of the worst O-line in the NFL. And you ain't bring in nobody. Any coach will come. Tua, draft picks, and Gesicki. Why would a coach come because of draft picks when he just saw you bum on 3 of them? Tua, Austin Jackson, and Noah Igbenogany. They just saw you flake on 3. And when I say flake, doesn't mean those guys won't turn out to be good, but you ain't hit on one of them where it was a day 1 impact. Why would somebody care about draft picks when you just flaked on 3 in the first round? You're coaching because the team has a lot of potential. That's right. And you're going to have to be there during their growing pains. And then they're going to look up and replace you anyway when it's all said and done. It's that Mark Jackson effect. Going through all the growing pains and build the organization up, get it to a winning culture, and then you fire him, bring in Steve Kerr, then you got a dynasty from day 1. Bam, dynasty. That's that Mark Jackson effect. Don't forget, before the Golden State Warriors was this dynasty, nobody cared about that team. But when Baron Davis and all of them guys was over there balling, they were balling right before Steve Kerr and the Splash Brothers came in. They were balling. We were like, look at Golden State, BD and all of them guys. And they got rid of Mark Jackson, brought in Kerr, and now the dynasty. But they had a few pieces that were cemented to help the transition. Mark Jackson built that team, and they fired him, hired Steve Kerr, and now he gets to get all the credit for the dynasty. And anybody who know anything about that situation, you know what I'm saying is 100. You know that's a fact. You know that's a fact. And that's what Flores and guys like him, they tired of, being placeholders, building something up. You don't think this team wouldn't build up under Flores? Use all the years to go through the trials and bring in talent. If Flores was the coach this year with this offense, you can use the same little tool system, but you got Tyreek and Armstead in it. You can use the same system Flores did last year that some of y'all claim you hated, and I guarantee you we playoffs. If Tua can stay healthy, for sure. What did Flores build up? Are you serious? He went through all them growing pains, building this roster up, dealing with it while has the Miami Dolphins not overachieved 3 years in a row, according to what everybody felt we should have did? Have we not overachieved 3 years in a row? The first year they had us down for 1 win. How many we got? 5 or 6? Second year they had us down for 4 or 5 wins. We got 10. Last year they say we win 6 games. 9. And all of that with a quarterback who kept getting hurt, and we barely won games when he did. So if he is decent, then if he hadn't got hurt, we would have been playoff team at least 2 for the last 2 years. That's the one thing I will give you. If Tua didn't get hurt, we should at least made the playoffs the last 2 years, right? Tua wasn't going no freaking 1-7 in that 8-game stretch. Tua would have came out of that at a minimum 3-5. At a minimum 3-5. And I'll tell you another thing. We might have, well, I don't know if we'd have won a division, but we might have been tied with the Bills, but they would have had the tiebreaker because they beat us twice. So don't tell me what did Flores build. All you got to do is go back to season 1 without Laramie Tunsil, without Kenny Stills, without Kiko Alonso, without all of those guys. What this team looked like year 1? And fast forward to last year, and don't tell me he ain't build his team. The last 2 years, we had a winning record. We had a winning record. I just don't like how we just demonize and everybody want to put it on Flores. You're putting it on Flores to give yourself hope. I'm going to call it how it is. Most of y'all trying to put everything on Flores just to give yourself hope this season. You want to put it on Flores to give yourself hope. So you can say if we finally make it to the playoffs this year, Mike McDaniel is the reason. No, but I'm sorry. If Tua wouldn't have got hurt the last 2 seasons, we should have been in the playoffs. No, toys in your room, okay? If Tua wouldn't have got hurt the last 2 years, we should have been at least in a wild card both years. At least give Tua that much credit. At least give him that kind of credit. If he wouldn't have got hurt, we should have been in the playoffs the last 2 years. If you ain't going to at least give him that, then, man, he definitely shouldn't be our guy. Because the games he missed, all that ranking on Jacoby Brissett, would Tua have won any of those games? And if the answer is yes, we would have been in the playoffs. would have been in the playoffs. Two years ago, yes, but not last year. Last year, we wouldn't have been in the playoffs if Tua didn't get hurt. So he wouldn't have did better than Jacoby, is what you're saying. Okay. That's your opinion. I think he would have did a lot better than Jacoby. But okay. Whew. Tua was healthy in 2019 and could not beat the Bills back up to get into the playoffs. Shaking my doggone head. It was his. Well, I ain't gonna knock him. It was his rookie season. This O-line was horrible. We didn't have a run game. And I know y'all be like, TD, you making excuses for him? No, but you're going up against the best teams in the NFL. When you're going up against the best teams in the NFL, at a minimum, you need to match their talent. And then the skill and the coaching and all of that comes into play. But we were, I mean, come on, let's be honest. In 2019, we were undermatched versus Buffalo. We were undermatched. So I don't care if you ain't got the talent to compete on that with that level of football, then it is what it is. This year, we're a whole lot closer in matching with them. We still ain't matched. I know people don't want to hear that, but when you look at the O-line as a whole, we sitting here hoping in 2 to 3 spots. We hope Connor Williams plays center well. We hope whoever plays left guard for him can play as good as he would. We hope the right tackle just doesn't fall flat on his face. Buffalo don't have hopes on the O-line. They got a receiving core. Diggs' production is just as deadly as Tyreek, regardless of how fast Tyreek is over him. And the rest of their receiving core is really nice too. They actually went and got a running back. And you already got a quarterback that rushed for almost 9 yards a carry, seemed like. So we closed the gap, but we still ain't solidified to there until we actually do it. And we'll see. We'll see. It hurts that I love Diggs so much. Flores got Miami respect, and I agree with that too. He did. If Flores didn't get out coached in like 5 games, we would have been in the playoffs too. Yeah, I'll give you that too, AB. And I think he got out coached in like 3 games. 5, that's whatever we want to argue. But there's a lot of blame to go around. If Flores didn't get out coached in a few games, but what makes us think we got a coach now that won't get out coached? We got a guy who's never been in charge of an entire unit. We got a guy who's never called plays. We got a guy who really don't know much about the defensive side of the ball in that facet, and he's going to have to make some decisions with the DC in certain critical moments. We don't know what he's going to deliver either. They're young coaches. This was Flores' first time being a head coach. You're supposed to get out coached sometimes. Don't sit here and be all high and mighty and don't think that Mike McDaniel won't get out coached in his first year. We hope not, but don't think that it ain't possible. But it's plenty blame to go around. If Flores didn't get out coached, if the O-line wasn't trash, if Tua didn't get hurt, if Byron and X wouldn't laboring an injury early, if Fuller would have played. I mean, it's plenty to go around. If receivers didn't get hurt, yeah, that's all fair game. But at the end of the day, when you look at what everybody can control, it is what it is. I have real high hopes for Mike McDaniels. Like, secretly, I try to obsess over him. Like, yes, he's going to be a great coach. because I don't want them to do him wrong either. That whole Sean Payton stuff rubbed me the wrong way. They either should have got it done or never let it get out at all. It rubs me the wrong way because it makes me feel like they're setting him up to say, you either do something special or we're moving on next year. I'm still waiting on the details of his contract. If anybody finds it, make sure you send it to me. I'm still waiting on the details and the money amount of Mike McDaniel contract. I want to know if he got the 5 years guarantee like Flores did. Of how many, I think he got 4 years. Flores got 5 and fully guaranteed, but I want to see what they did with Mike. Somebody said 4 years, 100 million. You done lied. Don't you ever lie like that. Listen, we gave Mike McDaniels 4 years, 100 million. We all need to stop being Dolphin fans. Y'all got to stop ripping Sonic arm off, okay?
Okay. But I did it because I pulled it too hard and it blew out.
I knew it was a mistake.
Yes.
I'm fixing it, Cammy. I'm gonna have to fix it later. I'm gonna have to put some new pins in it. All right, because you stripped the it's stripped. Okay. Imagine I would become a Bills fan if that's true. But yeah, man. At the end of the day, I'm sorry. I got high hopes for Mike McDaniel. I just hope they're not screwing this guy over and just having him as a placeholder. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, this is speculation. I'm trying to use that word a lot more so people don't get in their feelings. Good job. Take the toys out of here. You know the rules. No toys in Daddy's office. Bye-bye. All toys gone. I already feel like they're setting them up to a degree because at the end of the day, man, you done went out to 3 or 4 different people and it didn't work out, and then you went and got him. And you showed that you were trying to get that kind of money to Sean Payton. I'm telling you, man, they could be looking at Mike McDaniel as a placeholder if it all don't work out, y'all. Because this team has higher expectations than y'all want to realize. That front office expects this team to do something massive. Anyway, I've been rocking with y'all way longer than I needed to. Y'all hit that like button. I'm about to get up out of here. This was a great talk, almost 4 hours. Let me see here. Yeah, this was a great conversation, almost 4 hours. I'll probably just FYI first thing in the morning or late tonight, I'm gonna release episode number 3 of Miami Dolphins: A New Era. Where the next episode is actually a reenactment of the Brian Flores interview. All right, Brian Flores interview. So we're getting along. I just have to get through this series to get us caught up to current times because I can't wait. There's so much funny stuff I want to portray in these skits with current times. So, but I'm gonna be patient and get us up to this point, and one piece at a time. All right. Good talk, fellas. Back up your QB1. You know he is. I back him up, AB. I back up too. I told you. If Watson ain't an option no more or an upgrade, it is what it is. QB1, Tua Tagovailoa. Let's go. Now, if you catch me on Twitter, I'll give a whole different tune because I love trolling over there. But it's Tua time. And everybody should get behind that and hope that it works out. And if it don't, it is what it is. We talk about it. If it does, we'll talk about it. All right. Y'all hit that like button on your way out. Love y'all so much. Appreciate the support. Fans up no matter what. Peace. I am out. See you soon. Love you. God bless.